Pretty cool.
You like that?
Stepping up the game.
That was dope, right? Coming to you live from the We the People Podcast Network. Welcome to this week's episode of the Politically Correcting Podcast with me, the Jose Pio, along with my co-host Lavelle Lewis,
Gia,
Austin on the ones and twos.
Oh, hello.
And we are your weekly dose of common sense. Let's toast to our ability to share a drink with friends, have open and honest dialogue, and always striving to walk away still being friends. Salud.
Salud.
L'chaim.
Yes.
Today,
open up the crisp of this Bud Light can even sounds gay.
Today we are fully in good Lord.
You said these are half off, Austin?
They were. So my local grocery store is closing. Hagedorn's. Yeah, rest in peace, Hagedorn's. But all their alcohol was 50% off. You're too late now. When I got there, the shelves were basically empty except for these Bud Light Seltzers.
Do you have the picture of it?
And Bud Light.
Everything's gone except for.
No.
So we are fully embracing the legitimate quad month.
Yes.
With our Bud Light Seltzer, as well as a nice gift from my super gay assistant. He's happy and actually homosexual. So this is the legitimate quad Juneteenth edition of Stella Rosa. I'm going ahead and label it, but it's the limited edition love series.
Now here's the question, Jose. As we
you,
all
Jonathan.
drink these gay drinks, will by the end of the show we become super gay?
I guess there's only one way to find out.
We just gotta see.
No. No.
Here's my first sip of the gay ass.
Tell me how it is. Go ahead, taste it. Taste it for the world here.
Let's see.
I want to see if his voice changes after this.
Oh yeah, it's super gay. Oh god, that's
gotta be.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this tastes like
not really good.
You don't like it, Austin? You don't like yours either?
It's Bud Light.
Which one? Which one did you have?
Mine is the peach mango.
Mango.
That's super good.
Lavelle has the strawberry apple slices.
Strawberry apple slices. Didn't even know they go together.
Let's start the podcast off in a different direction here with our video of the week. Pull it up here with this person who is finally recognizing what is happening in this world. Go ahead, for women.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
How do you feel about that? Seeing a single young lady, you're on the market as well still? Yes?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
And how you like seeing that where a woman of younger age is seeing for herself exactly what it looks like when a society dogs on the men who stand for conservative values when it comes to relationships. We're talking about a man that, like Andrew Tate would say, would defend his woman, who would stand up for his woman, would provide for his woman, would take care of his woman, would defend the world against her.
Yeah, masculinity is how he says it.
Masculinity.
Masculinity. You know, you're a man. You take care of business. It's what they get. Unfortunately, it's really kind of not their fault because if you're bombarded with propaganda from, I mean, I don't know when it started. Maybe Obama, maybe Clinton. Who knows when they started to sissify that party. But it is what it is. I don't think I could be with a woman that doesn't have any conservative values because the ability to have a conversation with her without her getting triggered right? And it's really nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with her political values, political views. If you can stay within your ideals but not be triggered by certain things, then maybe there's a possibility, but it's a very slim chance. So it is what it is, man.
You know what I like to do with my friends who I know believe in like traditional male roles, yet are very progressive in their thought process on how a relationship should be. I allow those women to walk first to the door and see if they open the door for me. You know what they do? They wait.
No, they move to the side.
Yeah, they wait. And I go to the side and I say, no. We're not going to do that. I'm not going to fall into this traditional male society where, a man is dominating a woman. I think you deserve to be treated equally as me. So go ahead. You can open that door for me.
Well, you are in the trenches and you're surrounded by so many of them. So
well, I always got to showcase like how crazy some of the ideas are. Now, look, I get it that women want to be, treated equal in a relationship. I'm fully behind that. I don't think it's equal. I think a woman should bring 100% and a man should bring 100%. And if those match up pretty nicely, that's dope because you brought your full self exactly to the relationship.
Right.
As opposed to
holy
shut up.
Oh my God. The front door. The man is here. Finally.
Dance from the streets.
Don't get too close.
From the streets and coming in at the perfect time.
2-year anniversary. Welcome back.
I mean,
for this
the perfect time.
Man.
Perfect conversation.
Good to see you, boys.
Crashing in like Kramer over here.
Yeah, that was a Kramer entrance.
Camera ready for
that was a Kramer entrance.
Look at
howdy.
this. I can't hear you.
I was gonna say you haven't been to this podcast actually.
I know. Wait, which one? Which one do you plug in? Right here. You plug in this.
Now, give us a second while we get ready for someone who decides.
Dan from the streets, literally.
That is pretty awesome.
There you go.
Showcasing the ridiculousness of what some people believe in.
Yes.
Nice to have you, Dan. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Happy 2-year anniversary.
Sorry I'm late.
You're right on time, man.
Yeah, we usually start at 7.
I mean, as many times I've come to the show.
I was gonna say you're so earlier than Lavelle was.
Probably what we do. Hey, do you want to get one of these gay ass Bud Lights? We're doing a study to see how fast we can be.
Why is Bud Light gay now?
We also have the legitimate Juneteenth edition if you like.
Absolutely, this 100% branded as gay, and it's this. Well, I'll let you decide for yourself, but ratings are not good. It's probably about as good as the new Flash movie that came out.
Probably. We'll find out next week.
We'll talk about that.
Okay. Next week's movie night. FYI Tuesday. We're talking about relationships, how women who are more progressive today and more liberal still somehow want a man to fit into their male where a man is supposed to stand, right? Open a door, pay for the dinner, do the manly roles, except they don't want to play the traditional women roles, right?
Sure.
So, kind of showcasing is to them exactly how bad idea that could potentially be. It's like yesterday at city council meeting, one of the council members, not going to mention that person's name, stated that the RPD was pulling over more men in our city, more Black single men, ages between 16 and 35 or some crazy like that. So I turned over to my right, who was Kim Smith, who I sit next to, and I stated, she's actually very right. I think that, this whole male masculinity toxicity thing is absolutely correct. We should definitely look to increase the amount of times we pull over and arrest women. And she just laughed it off.
Yeah, it's a joke.
But that's
equality.
Equality.
Well, equity.
Yeah,
right.
Inclusion, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we can ask Bernie Sanders what his thoughts are on, but
diversity.
Yeah, diversity.
Buzzwords can be kind of
get them all.
Get them all. It's the month for it. It's the month for it, and the week for it. Good Lord. Let's get into the Pride Month stories. I got quite a few here. Let's get into something that's a little man.
Before we go, Jose, real quick, because I think
hit on it.
Yeah, I think this is a really, really good topic to talk about, especially when we got 4 guys on a show, the podcast.
Cisgender man.
Right. Allegedly, right? I think we kind of go back in the timeline and see where the toxic masculine male conversation started, I mean, it was always prevalent within a lot of our movies.
Well, it's funny you
Right.
say that about toxic masculinity, right? Because somebody brought this point up to me the other day, and I think this is like the most mind-blowing thing. Maybe it's not because I'm dumb. The culture that we have now promotes masculine women and feminine men.
Mhm.
And that just like the juxtaposition between that
Yeah.
and what it should be. Like, why?
Well, look,
Why? If you're a manly woman, you're praised. But if you're a feminine man, that's great. But if you're traditional,
right.
it's like anything that's majority or perceived as majority is wrong.
You can be a
Mhm.
masculine woman, but you can't be a masculine man.
Correct.
Right. No, and going back during the early Schwarzenegger years, right? When he first came out, and him and Rambo Rambo, I called him Rambo by because
Stallone.
Sly. Back when him and Sly were going at it with their movies, their masculinity was what was selling in the box office. Women drew to that. They knew that was a selling point, and then it changed. Right. When
No, it didn't. The narrative changed.
the narrative changed,
Right.
but women still look for that,
Right.
but they didn't present it to us in a public form anymore, in a format. Like that changed, and then you started to see G.I. Janes, and you started to see more of the masculine female come up, and the liberation of the feminine masculine female was presented to us. So throughout time, I mean, you already know, they say they set us up with what we see on TV, and that's what brainwashes society, and this is what we have right now. This is what we have.
Right, because every single time it was a man or a father figure, they were portrayed as dumb, sloppy, fat.
Homer Simpson, he's the one.
Right.
Homer Simpson, literally was that guy that, represented the dumb father. He literally obliterated everything you saw from what's his name? Spanish Fly, Bill Cosby, right? From when he presented with the Cosby Show. Yeah, like I said, it's what they gave to the people, and this is what we got right now, man.
Well, you say that,
That's
but they've even taken it a step further, right? Because Homer, even at the beginning, was Homer Simpson. He at least cared about his family.
Yes,
always,
yes.
always, no matter how dumb
And he
or
wasn't that
ignorant
stupid though. He wasn't really stupid,
and he
like
always
before.
provided for. He took a job that was kind of demeaning.
Yep.
And he cared about his family above all else.
Yeah.
You watch The Simpsons now; it's horrendous.
It's bad.
Is it bad?
Yeah.
It's
I never got into it.
Of course, because nobody watches it now. What do
No.
they get? Like 700,000 viewers a
I
week?
know, but
Right
they'll
around
still
our
keep
numbers,
Yeah,
Just about.
approximately.
Let's still keep going, predicting our future.
give or take.
Yeah.
Do you
But-
think that they're predicting the future, or you think that they are kind of pushing it forward, or do you think that
The Trump scene,
which one?
the one where they showed that Trump was going to run for president, and then the escalator, he's going down the escalator. They got the fans up top, and then one of the Trump signs falls within the cartoon, and it was exactly the same situation within when Trump announced, real life at Trump Towers. Like, again, hey, tinfoil time. We can go there already, but who knows what they got going on with the Simpsons.
We could jump right into the conspiracy theories.
I
Sure.
mean,
Sure, why not?
It's a huge part of our show, right?
What?
I wouldn't say it's a huge part.
That's what they call us,
They
conspiracy
do.
theorists.
Yeah.
Well, at
Conspiracy
least
theories.
for me and Austin, the majority part.
Yeah. Let's go into it. Let's talk about conspiracy theories. Today's going to be actually a twofer. Go ahead and play that song again.
Oh.
Got a twofer on this one because it's going to lead to exactly why I bring it up. So we got two things right here. The first thing there is the viral TikTok conspiracy theories claim the Titanic never actually sank. Did you see the thought process behind where they said that was it JP Morgan that was supposed to be on the Titanic, and they had all the bankers there, and JP Morgan wanted to push for the Federal Reserve, and these other big money dollar guys did not want to, so they put them all on a boat that was allegedly not the Titanic, but they repainted it as the Titanic. It was originally the Olympique, I think it was, or the Titan or something like that.
That was Titan.
Titan. Okay, the Titan. And then when they sunk it, the Titan already had like a messed up hull to it or something like that. They actually did a 3D rendering. They can go down underwater now and do 3D renderings of the ship. And allegedly, they showed that there was not a 120-foot gash in the side of the Titanic, and that there was a bunch of small dashes or gashes that kind of showcase that it may have been something of malfeasance, and there was a spot where the original Titan, there was damage to it, and that's why they said they wanted to take the insurance money, because there was already damage to the Titan. There was no insurance on it. So there's like 5 conspiracy theories in the one Titanic one. All right. I don't know.
Which one do you believe?
I think that if the inaugural voyage of the Titanic were happening today, meaning we never had anything like it, I don't see how, if I was the one who put all the money forward and was the fiduciary of the entire thing, that I would not be on that ship.
So you think it was the setup?
I'm just saying that's what I would not allow it to set sail without me on it.
Right. So you think he'd set everybody up?
I just don't see why you wouldn't.
Right. Sort of like
if your whole entire thing is to institute the Federal Reserve, and all the guys that kind of are against you happen to be coming on the same ship as you. Why not?
Similar to Larry Silverstein in the Twin Towers, who just
allegedly
happened to have a
day off.
Yeah. He had a dermatologist appointment that same day.
Yeah. I can see how I would not allow, but that's different. That was just a regular day.
No, it's the same. I think it's the same setup though, the same play. Like you are acquiring something. I forgot how much he spent for the Twin Towers. And then
the collateral damage you're willing to give up in order to get what you want.
Right.
At this level is ginormous amounts.
Absolutely. And the theory behind the Twin Towers were that there was so much work that needed to be done. There was a huge asbestos problem within the Twin Towers. The reason why they couldn't find a buyer is because of the maintenance that needed to be done. It needed to be hundreds of millions of dollars to repair, remediate, right, and fix up the Twin Towers. So no one took that until 2 weeks before the Twin Towers fell. Mr. Larry Silverstein accomplished that feat.
Well, it's because asbestos doesn't burn, so they had to knock it down.
Oh, they had to demo,
allegedly,
pull it, as he said.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
There you go.
It makes sense.
I did not even think about that part. You see the recent boat, that little submarine that went under with the people who spent $250,000 per ticket to go in a submarine to go look at the Titanic underwater.
Cheers for them.
I would think, I mean, that's terrible. I would hate to be in that position.
Just watch the movie, bro.
But I would think if you're spending if each ticket costs $250,000, why wouldn't you have a backup plan in order to extract people if something bad were to happen? Why, if I'm charging someone $250,000, you got 10 people in a little boat, and you got this boat going down there every week. You don't think I have enough money to pay for a backup plan to go down there and get them?
That's because you're a responsible, compassionate person, who
allegedly
who thrives on city council and wouldn't do well, in the cutthroat business world.
You might be right about that.
I don't know. Jose got a little dictatorshism a little bit.
I'll grow out the stash for that one.
Yeah, right.
It's the height thing.
Yeah.
Is it the height thing?
It's there. It's there. That complex is probably there.
Oh, the complex is definitely there. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. And also in that article, because it says obviously you're crazy conspiracy theorist for thinking that it was never the Titanic that sunk.
Yeah, of course.
It also states that the Earth is flat. Reptilian overlords run our government.
That flat Earth argument, man, it's gaining steam.
I'll tell you what.
It's gaining a lot of steam.
I'll tell you what. I put a couple seconds into it one day. And then I said, my brain hurts because it's so stupid. But it's kind of equating that to that. The second one, the twofer, is with the Jamie Foxx thing where he's having the heart issues, the blood clot. They said someone claimed on a talk show that it was potentially,
allegedly,
the jab that put him under.
I heard Puffy.
Well, doesn't he like orange drink? He likes orange drink, right?
Oh, is that Billy Beeman?
No. So if you put Fanta on an orange test or a COVID test rather, it'll make it positive. So you just drink enough Fanta.
No,
I didn't know that.
There you go.
I didn't see that.
Don't even push that allegedly button.
I thought that was like some.
I saw the water running under faucet that they were testing that, and it came up COVID.
Fanta turns it positive.
I thought that was one of his roles that he liked orange drink any given Sunday or something.
Why? Because he's black? I feel like that's racist.
Orange drink. I mean, it's all we drink is orange juice in the morning.
Yeah, I hear that you guys love orange juice.
I don't know why anybody who doesn't like orange juice.
Like, it's fried chicken.
Yeah, who doesn't like fried chicken, orange juice, and watermelon? God, they're like 3 of the top best things you can have.
Pork chops, rice and beans.
Well, I mean, all right. I think I said this before. Puerto Ricans cook the best pork out of anybody on the planet. I don't care who you are. Puerto Ricans can season some pork butt better than anybody.
We be eating that pork butt.
And you guys, you own it. You own it. Like, with us, we're like, I don't. So what if I like fried chicken?
I got high cholesterol. My doctor tells me every single time your cholesterol is a little high. You know, if you don't stop eating, what is it that you eat? And I'm like, you know exactly what the fuck I eat. Come on. You know what I eat.
Empanada.
He can't say it though.
He can't say it. Right? It's a she.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. But
I mean, Mary.
So yeah, that's the NBC News article there. Now these are a bunch. Actually, it's more than 2 conspiracy theories in this right here, because we had the flat Earth as well as the reptilian overlords.
Well, we can't go too far past the Jamie Foxx story, because he was supposed to testify in that big prize. Leonardo DiCaprio,
which we did talk about, what,
Obama case. Yeah, he was a part of that as well, and he was supposed to testify, and all of a sudden, miraculously, he is hanging on to his life.
Where that Chinese money came into our politics somehow?
30 plus million, which I'm pretty sure there was more. Holly Weird is really weird and bought by China. Period.
Allegedly.
I mean, it's coming.
You gotta say it right.
China.
But there's an article after this. This is what I really want to get into after all these conspiracy theories have been thrown at you here. This is the New Scientist. It says, we don't have any viable way of countering conspiracy theories. It says, beliefs in conspiracy theories can damage societies and individuals, but the only effective ways to counter them are impractical, according to a review. Now, this is one of the reasons why.
Wait, who's the doctor and who's the writer of the story?
The writer is Michael LePage. No idea who that person is.
Michael LePage.
Let's say it's on New Scientist. Michael LePage. The vast majority of methods for quashing belief in conspiracy theories have little or no effect, and the ones that do work are impractical. That is the conclusion of a review of 25 studies assessing various methods of tackling unfounded beliefs in secret plots. Now, this podcast is one of the reasons. One of the reasons I started the podcast was for this exact thing. It was during the middle of COVID, 2 years ago exactly. 2021. After we got a little bit more information, and after a lot of us were right the entire time, I felt as if there had to be a way to get information out where the media was not stomping on our freaking necks about it. We needed to be able to talk about it. That's the only way to counterbalance these conspiracy theories. If the conspiracy theory is damaging societies and individuals, the only effective way to counter them, even though these people think it's impractical, the only effective way is to air them out. Talk it over. Let's discuss it. As a people, let's discuss these things as grown human beings, as grown men and women. Talk about exactly what we think. And then we come to our own conclusions, research the facts of the story, and then figure out for ourselves.
Yeah.
What you guys got going on over there?
Well, we're looking up Michael LePage, and we just kind of seen how.
What airs him out?
Well, he doesn't have his pronouns in his bio, which is a good sign.
That's a good start.
Does not. Okay. All right.
So we're starting strong, but he does talk about climate change a lot.
Yes. That's his shtick.
And shark.
Where are we at?
Shark something or other. He likes sharks, which
shark repellents.
Shark Week
he likes testing shark repellents in the Bahamas and walking on water at the Edinburgh Science Festival. He is literally a weirdo.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, good for him.
Yes. So, and all it takes is for articles like this to, it speaks to the majority that are afraid to use their freaking brain.
Well, and this is so stupid, right? Because
Yeah.
we do. It's just transparency.
Yeah.
And it's transparency top to bottom. We have a viable way of testing conspiracy theories, and that's where conspiracy theories come from.
Yep.
The common sense would tell you, any normal person on the street would tell you that it's just a lack of information that leads to conspiracy theories.
Right. And then quashing the other side. When you
Right.
don't allow one side to speak, then you automatically give credence to them
Yep.
by saying, well, they obviously don't want us to talk about it for a reason.
Yeah, because if you're trying to silence something, something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
That's why I say talk it out. Talk it out. Go ahead. Talk it out. Go ahead. You don't believe in what I believe in. Talk it out. Tell me exactly why, and then maybe I'll believe. Maybe I won't. Let's find out.
Well, can we also kind of speak to the point that the people who claim anything as a conspiracy or a theory is the ones that are hiding something, and then they will, present it to the media and everybody else and say, "Oh no, that's." Back when Trump was running, right? Russian collusion, fake news was born when the Epstein information started to come out. Remember, Jeffrey Epstein was big. Everything was fake news, news, collusion, Russia, fake news. So, that's just another way.
COVID. It was COVID that really put it out there.
Yeah, but still, like, just the term itself is used as a weapon to try and discredit us, the people, so we can kind of lose our steam and pushing and asking the questions like, yo, who shot JFK? Goddamn it.
Yeah, they still say that the shooting of JFK is a conspiracy theory.
But you all have straight
by
up
the CIA, I mean,
undisclosed information that you will not release to the public. And if you do, you detract all the information, black out everything, so where we can't ask or follow up any more questions.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. In the spirit of Juneteenth. Blackout. But yeah, it's this tactic they've been using forever, man.
It is. And there's another tactic they use. Let's get into the target bomb threats. So this article comes out here.
What's that in the blue? Is that a female or is that
she's soulless.
What is I can't see. Is that a female? Please just confirm that's a female.
That's a female. It's a banner, so it's in the store.
Ooh, I know they were going there. But in just this month, I just want to make sure if that wasn't,
Well, keep in mind, if you were to actually look at the picture, that person has a really long back.
Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what do we got there? Yeah. That are they or them, she or her?
So you hear the, let me tell you exactly what the article says, because it's probably too far for you to read it. This is the Washington Post. It says Target stores see more bomb threats over Pride merchandise. Locations in at least 5 states were evacuated this weekend, and no explosives were discovered. Now, you read that. What does that scream to you? Who do you think is
the target?
Who do you think is calling in or claiming that there's bomb threats?
I would not be surprised if it wasn't the people who want to perpetuate that they are in fact, in trouble, right? Or a marked whatever. It could be just them themselves. Like who really wants to bomb something just because a store wants to be gay?
Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, inside of the article, it actually tells you that it was due to the backlash. It was the legitimate people who were supporting the Pride merchandise were targeting Target.
Makes sense.
Saying, how dare you back off? How dare you succumb to the pressures? Why weren't you smart enough to change to a White Claw like Dan over here?
I didn't know that was even.
Austin, did you switch to a White Claw too, or you stick with the?
He's sticking with the.
No, I'll stick with this.
This palette is
gay.
That's gay, but it doesn't taste gay.
You guys are haters.
If gay was a taste, that's it right there.
The Bud Light Seltzer apple slices.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Bigots.
Yeah. Oh my God, guys.
Guys.
Oh my God.
You should have seen the amount of people who were questioning me why I did not have the Pride flag on my desk at City Hall. Last night for our meeting, everybody had the Pride flag except for me. And then on top of that, it was Gun Violence Awareness Month or day or something like that. So they're like, hey, everyone, please wear orange. So I have a pocket square. I usually wear a white shirt, button-down shirt, in my suit. I wear a pocket square, so I wore a pocket square with orange in it. Well, I get there and they're like, hey, we got t-shirts for you guys to wear, bright orange t-shirts. And I'm like, well, I don't want to wear that. Like, I don't want to wear that. I don't want to look like I've just come out of jail. Like, I don't want to wear that. And plus on top of that, what has city council actually done to decrease? Right.
Talk about hurting cattle. Oh
so, hey, you know, why aren't you wearing the shirt? I felt like the Seinfeld article with the gay pin, the HIV,
the ribbon.
Yeah.
Yes. The ribbon. Yeah.
Yeah. The ribbon. You got to wear a ribbon.
I've been keeping an eye on that little this little initiative that your colleague is pushing currently.
Which one?
The anti-gun, the gun violence.
Okay. I hate the term gun violence, by the way.
Yeah, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the actual situation. What are the solutions? What are they presenting to kind of combat this?
Take away guns.
From
who though?
Gun owners.
No, not just take. It's their solution is not to take away guns, but it's to take away the access to guns. So they're going after gun stores. So they came out with this new thing. I guess there are certain stores, like 10% of the stores in the general vicinity of our county produce like 65% of the guns used for crimes in our city. I said, I don't understand where you're getting with that. Like, I would assume that guns used for criminal activity were probably stolen out of houses in the area, and those people who stole it probably live in the area, so they didn't go very far. Yeah. And there's only so many gun stores. I mean, how many gun stores are there in the city of Rochester?
Yeah.
Are there any, actually? Are there any gun stores?
I mean, let's also not. I don't know if
actual Rochester.
Yeah, there's none.
No, it's not within the city, but within just the sale of illegal weapons, right? It's the same problem with the sale of illegal drugs. There are actual organizations that sell these things illegally to the market, which is the gangsters. So if a gangster knows another,
the hoodlums, you mean?
The hoodlums, right? So the hoodlum knows another hoodlum to purchase a gun from another hoodlum, and you have biker gangs, you have regular street gangs, you have people, you have organizations. I don't understand why we never talk about this biker gang, but you do have the Hells Angels who have been entrenched within the drug and illegal gun market for years.
Allegedly.
There's no allegedly behind that, but
I just don't want to die.
I got you. But within that, I mean, you never watched Sons of Anarchy, that show?
Oh, hell yeah. Love that show.
I mean, within just Hollywood, they're showing you exactly how it can go. The IRA, the Irish, mafias, and these different organizations that have been organized criminals for God knows how long. They know where their bread is getting buttered, right? Why not let the niggas kill each other? That's kind of how they reference us in the shows. Like, that's how they look at us in the shows.
Whoa.
If you are a white supremacist, a KKK member, why wouldn't you? Shit, go ahead. Let's find a way to get in on that business, but they don't think that far. They just look at the capitalistic solution. Let's go after the legal gun owners. So there's less capitalists within the world, society. Mm-hmm. We get what we want eventually.
Well, speaking of not thinking that far ahead, you see what happened in what's the city? Hamtramck, Michigan, with the Muslim majority city council.
Never heard of that.
Okay. Hamtramck, Michigan. The article is titled "A Sense of Betrayal: Liberal Dismay as Muslim-led city, U.S. city bans pride flags." So many liberals celebrated when Hamtramck, Michigan elected a Muslim majority council in 2015, but a vote to exclude legitimate flags from city property has soured relations.
Oh, what did you expect? First of all, I mean,
no, they only like brown people. Brown people. I hate that term. Brown people. If they align with their views on everything, as soon as you don't, guess what happens?
Yeah, you're an outcast.
That's it.
He's probably a terrorist again.
Probably
Osama bin Laden's uncle.
Can you imagine the party that they had in 2015 when they elected a majority Muslim city council, and they swore up and down that they were the shit, that they they're obviously better than any other city because they're more liberal than everybody else. And
well, a liberal Muslim is definitely an oxymoron. Like
they just put the guys on, right? In order to infiltrate.
Right.
That's part of the Islam.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Religion.
You guys are smart, man.
They also vote.
They're not dumb.
They also vote. They do tend to vote more progressive because they want you to destroy yourself.
Yeah.
Because they know who has the most amount of people in this freaking world. It's not America. I don't know who doesn't know this, but India has. I'm not saying all Indians are Muslim. What I'm saying is that Middle East has a lot more people than the United States.
It's pretty close. Yeah. But the thing
they have
about
3 times more people.
Yeah,
not even close.
The thing about the Muslims, though, they hide their homosexuality better than anybody else.
They don't hide it.
Oh, they hide that shit.
They throw people off the freaking roof.
No. They hide it within just what we know.
They hide it in America.
Yes, they hide it, but they also hide in their own country because from what I was reading, within just the
Arab,
the Arab nations, like the high up Arab Muslim leaders, they all have like young little boys that they have, on their little side for their little, gay little, I don't know, sabbaticals they like to go on. So they're no different.
I've heard of that as well.
Yeah.
Well, outside the realm of conspiracy theories, the Saudi royal family does actually have like majority like shares in a lot of like entertainment companies and things that they're not as conservative as the Saudi royal family's actual rules are. Like they own part of Capcom, which is the video game.
That's a video game thing.
That's
guys.
PCP's in the building.
They made Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. That's the only one I remember from
Mega
Capcom.
Man,
Yes.
Devil May Cry, Resident Evil. Those are all
Those
Capcom.
games. Yes.
Great
games, man.
The other PCP in the house.
Yeah. I'm stepping in. But I think to your point though, they do like they can hide in sort of plain sight. Like you if you played the most recent Resident Evil, you wouldn't.
Of
know
course.
That the Saudi royal family owns like 10% of that.
Yeah.
It's 11, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. They are really like the evil that has found a way to, say, oh, we're the innocent ones over here. They are just as evil as U.S. and a lot of foreign relation deals, Israel, China.
They've stated
Russia.
they want America to fall, but they want America to fall at their own hands.
Yeah.
They don't have to shoot a single gun, not a single bullet. They don't have to go to war with us. We're going to destroy ourselves.
It's art of war, man.
It's amazing what they've been able to do, communists and socialists in this world against us. And then on top of that, it's fantastic to see that all they're saying is we're not going to fly it on the public property that we have, which I understand, especially if you're Muslim. The last thing you want to be doing is voting to fly a flag that goes against your religion. I get it. I think we've gotten to the point where it's either you have to only fly the American flag or you have to allow every flag to be flown. Every flag, no matter what it is, you have to allow it. That's where we're at right now. Yeah. So that's my thing is like either just don't allow it at all, only fly the American flag, that beautiful flag up there, beautiful flag behind me, or you're going to have to fly every freaking flag there is for every single day that they have out there for whatever reason.
Why are there so many colors on it now? What's the little arrow?
You got the first is the black and brown, and then the rest is
what's the like aquamarine? What is that?
I forgot what that one was.
I'm a little out of it.
I think that one's trans.
Trans, yeah.
It's the aquamarine. Well, either the pink or the aquamarine is trans.
It can't
one
be.
Of them. Yeah.
That's a racist flag though, because there's white on there.
Yeah, no. One of the stripes is for trans. Yeah, I know that.
I'm waiting for the one where it's for
minor affected.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's up there too. One of them is up there.
Yeah. It might be aquamarine like trans males or pink trans females.
I just want to see one.
That's racist.
I want to see the legitimate community stand up against the minority attracted persons. I just want to see that. Just say that it's not okay.
Yeah.
Just say we are not okay with.
Everyone says that. No one
No,
likes the minor
no, not
attractive
everybody.
persons.
Not everybody.
No.
one.
Not
is-
everybody.
No one
And
is
at the end of
The
the day,
UN is making it a world law.
Let me tell you. So
Bullshit.
I'm doing some work for
Go ahead. He's gonna look it up.
a couple
am.
people right now. And one of the people I'm doing work for right now is very liberal, very left. And they're fine enough people.
Do you care? Like, do you really?
No,
honestly
I
care?
really
no
don't.
one cares.
no one
That's
cares.
the thing. No one really cares.
And
But
she
them.
doesn't either. But let me say this. So what's weird is that when we got on the topic of politics and the
Isn't it weird how quickly that happens?
the happenings of the world, it is.
Yeah,
Right.
She started talking about the everything that's going on, and then she started talking about all of this, and she's okay with it because it aligns with her party, and that's so strange to me. So it's just like, okay, well, most people, like Austin says, that no one accepts it. You give it enough time, she will, because it's in line
He's
with
looking
the
at
party.
Look at his eyebrows. He knows. He just found it.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I found an article saying that
You
it's
would-
not true.
Oh no, that's not. That's not.
That's
I'm
probably
sure.
Snopes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 No, this one was.
You know where Snopes came from?
AP News, the Associated Press.
My
but let
asshole?
me
No,
keep
it was a
looking.
couple. It was a man and woman couple that just decided to start their own website.
Just like that, huh?
That's it.
Then it caught on.
And it caught on.
You would think
During
right?
Trump. It was during Trump. They just decided to open up their own website to combat Trump's freaking lies. And now it's like the go-to for so many different people. And now they're divorced.
Oh, see what happens, man.
Yeah. Their
She
marriage
got
was a
right.
sham. So therefore everything
Somebody got woke. Someone woke.
one of them.
Someone got woke.
It was probably him.
But what you said though, it's kind of the same thing that would happen when
I couldn't find
9/11
any
happened,
evidence supporting it.
and during that time, the liberals were spot on with the anti-war side of going to war against Iraq. Like, it didn't make any sense. Every liberal was going against what the Republicans were saying, and every word out of their mouths were terrorists, Muslim terrorists, blah blah blah. But if you're a Republican, you're just aligned with what they said
Right.
without even thinking. It's kind of just what you said with the woman. Like, that's what they do. It's
Well,
crazy.
you look, so there's this band, the Dixie Chicks, right? They're just the Chicks now, and they got
Oh.
canceled back in like 2002 because they said that the war in Iraq was wrong at a concert, and that we shouldn't, that George Bush was, using his power for the wrong things, and they were taken off
Which
of
he was.
country radio.
Stu,
Yeah,
right. You're right.
right. But they were for 15 years.
Yeah.
They weren't played on the radio, and they changed their name. But now they've strung so far the other way that now they're just the Chicks. They're not the Dixie Chicks, because Dixie is racist,
They're close to
because
being
that's
liberal.
about the Civil War South.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So, and it's like, can we find the middle?
Yeah, that's what this podcast is for. Finding that middle.
Well, maybe though
I
that
got it
was
right
a
here.
good.
Okay, where'd you go?
I kind of support that
Human
change
events.
though.
Human
because
events.
The only reason
HumanEvents.com.
Oh,
The only
I'm
reason
sorry,
why I
I've never
support
heard
it.
of humanevents.com.
is because
Because
it's
you're racist?
no. That's a democratic. The Democratic South was the racist South.
Right.
Anything that was considered Dixie or
Yeah.
those blue
Dixie Democrats.
Yeah, them Dixie Democrats. That was actually pretty smart for them. But
I don't
now though, everybody on the right just about hates Bush. How the tables have turned.
We should hate Bush.
Yes, Bush is a piece of crap.
What do we think about Bill Clinton now?
Oh my gosh. I look at him the same way I look at Epstein. That's Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton.
I don't think my view of Bill Clinton has
The
ever
same.
changed.
Did you ever like Bill?
I'd have a beer with Bill.
I had a
No,
problem with Bill
I-
too.
I would.
The thing is,
Sure, why not?
I didn't like Bill, but at the same time, America going after him for his sexual wants that were fulfilled by a certain young lady in the Oval Office, and then the wife defends him. I have to say, at that point, you got to let it go.
He's
If
got
the
that-
wife defends it, you have to let it go.
That's the
What do we have to do to interject our own beliefs, our own religious beliefs, our own social constructs onto someone else's? They don't believe it, obviously.
I agree.
If the wife says, hey, he did what he did, I'm still with him, I'm gonna support my man, who are you to say?
Well, the Democrats
Email.
the Democrats today are using the same playbook that Republicans used back then in trying to get, Clinton out of office for whatever reason. I don't know why they did it. Maybe they were just trying to muddy the waters up enough so that they know that they could get the next election to do exactly what they had planned, which was the inside job on 9/11, and then also the war in Iraq, and also take over the oil industry over in that region.
Take it over or destroy it?
No, they take it over, bro. They wanted that. They wanted that. Dick Cheney and all those rich oil tycoon folks. I mean, they got what they wanted. The Saudis, all of them, they got what they wanted.
I want to go through this article that I sent to Austin. Austin, can you pull that up for us, please? Because I want to go through it like I do in normal, how I get ready for this podcast, right? Is everyone able to see that?
You actually prepare for this thing?
Dude.
This is on the fly, bro. This is on the fly.
I have to. Not only do I pull up,
typical.
Not only do I go through different articles throughout the week, but then on Tuesday and Wednesday, I have to go back through, and any new stories that take over the old stories, I have to get rid of the old stories. Can everybody see that or no? Okay. So this article is on humanevents.com. It says in March, which was this year, UNAIDS and the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, two agencies within the UN, along with the International Committee of Jurists, published a group of new legal principles that would advance decriminalization efforts globally. And Principle 16 stated sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual, which they are pushing right now. I guarantee right now, that's what the crazy far left is pushing right now is, well, it's consensual because guess what? If you can change your sex, then you can therefore change what you are attracted to. You can choose your own sex, so therefore you can choose what sex you're attracted to at whatever age. So let's click on, so there's like 4 or 5 different hyperlinks already there. Let's click on the new legal principles. Oh God.
This isn't a real site.
Let's see what this says. Where's it go? UNAIDS? What is that?
Union AIDS.
That is UNAIDS.com. The feature story, new legal principles launched on International Women's Day to advance decriminalization efforts. So is this a legitimate website? I don't know. What is this UNAIDS thing? That's what I click on.
Is
the top
this like
left.
the UN, like our UN?
It says their initiative is Global Council on Inequality, AIDS, and Pandemics. AIDS by number. So like their primary thing is AIDS, pace of progress in reducing new HIV infections, increasing access to treatment, ending AIDS-related deaths is slowing down. So that's on their main page. If you were to click on the top left where it
this
says
is the United Nations, right?
I don't know who this UNAIDS is. United Nation AIDS?
That's what
who we are. Go on the top right where it says who we are or whatever. Yep. About UNAIDS. Saving lives and leaving no one behind. UNAIDS is leading the global effort to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030 as part of the Sustainable Development Goals. So a lot of this is AIDS related. I mean,
I don't trust anything UN, by the way.
I don't either. And the UN is in black and then AIDS is in red.
Yeah, so it's got to be.
It's got to be UN connected.
Yeah.
So if they're saying the future story is to advance decriminalization efforts, the 8 March principles, as they are called, lay out a human rights-based approach to laws criminalizing conduct in relation to sex, drug use, HIV, sexual and reproductive health. That's the second paragraph. So let's click on the 8 March principles. Save the downloads. I'm going to go ahead and look into it. You're already in it. Look at you.
Oh, man. It gets nastier every time I sip it.
All right. So criminal law prescribing conduct associated with sex, reproduction, drug use, HIV, homelessness, and poverty. So it's 32 pages here. Let's see if I can quickly find anything that has to do with this. So general part number 1 is basic principles of criminal law, international human rights law and standards, application to the criminalization of conduct associated with sex. So we're going to special part 3. And then we got consensual sexual conduct. Principle 16. Which is on page 22. So let's go to page 22.
And can we find out who's going to be leading this initiative? Is it the Peacekeepers?
If you want to call them peacekeepers.
Yeah.
Principle 16, consensual sexual conduct. First of all, this is all on the fly. I literally just brought this up. Austin didn't believe me. I said, let's research it. This is all research on the fly.
That's what we do.
Is everything that you guys can do at home.
That's what we do.
Consensual sexual conduct, irrespective of the type of sexual activity, the sex, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or general expression of the people involved or their marital status may not be criminalized in any circumstances. Consensual same sex, as well as consensual different sex sexual relations, or consensual sexual relations with or between trans, non-binary, and other gender diverse people, or outside marriage, whether premarital or extramarital, may therefore never be criminalized.
Wow.
So we got may not be criminalized in any circumstances, and then it goes to may therefore never be criminalized. With respect to the enforcement of criminal law, any prescribed minimum age of consent to sex must be applied in a non-discriminatory manner.
Yes. Okay.
Enforcement may not be linked to the sex, gender of participants or age of consent.
Wait. Of consent to marriage.
Or age of consent to marriage.
Right. So what that means is,
what are you reading in that? Because I read that.
No, that has the any prescribed minimum age of consent to sex must be applied in a non-discriminatory manner. That means it doesn't have to. You can't discriminate based on like
age.
Gay, straight. No. That's not what that's saying. That's not what that's saying.
Elaborate.
What it's saying is any prescribed minimum age of consent. So that's saying that there is a prescribed minimum age of consent. There's a law of the minimum age of consent.
Okay.
And that must be applied in a non-discriminatory manner. That means it has to be applied equally to gays, straights, whatever. Anything in that previous paragraph.
Moreover, sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual in fact, if not in law.
Okay.
In this context, the enforcement of criminal law should reflect the rights and capacity of persons under 18 years of age to make decisions about engaging in consensual sexual conduct and their right to be heard in matters concerning them. Pursuant to their evolving capacities and progressive autonomy, persons under 18 years of age should participate in decisions affecting them with due regard to their age, maturity, and best interests, and with specific attention to non-discrimination guarantees.
Okay. I think this kind of pushes the you hear a lot about how society is trying to disconnect the child from the parent, right? Like, yes, I totally understand, allowing a kid under 18 to have that ability to, speak for themselves, etc. But this doesn't even mention the parent whatsoever within the conversation.
What parent?
Right. I think the
Biden
language
says we are the parents.
But I think again, like just the overall family itself is not even included within these conversations and talks. And like when we're talking about kids and consent and all that, like consent, like I'm not giving my child consent to have sex at 15, 14,
This is saying you
13,
have to.
12, 11. No, I'm not doing that. That's a problem that we have. Like, bring the family back into these conversations, not eliminate the family and then make it between the government and non-government organizations that have a history of sexually abusing kids, especially the United Nations. I don't really see that as like a good thing. Because again, the parent is not one sentence within that. So.
Right. So that's the white supremacy in you.
Well, I mean, I am a white supremacist that hate black people. So, hey, take it for what you want.
So is Kanye.
All day.
Let's get into the.
Well, maybe it's the clone though. I don't know if this is the new. I don't think
so either.
This is a different.
A quiet Kanye is not.
I have no idea who this Kanye is.
Yeah.
My son was like, who's 11. He's on TikTok.
He's on TikTok?
Oh man. But he's okay. I've spent enough time with him and I can listen to what he's listening.
Because that's really what matters is the fact that you're involved in what he's listening to, what he's watching.
Yeah, I'm hearing the TikTok, and as he's scrolling through his feeds, I'm not seeing or hearing any like gay dudes, doing tutorials on makeup and all that stuff. And, and I don't see or hear any grooming stuff within his feeds. But he was like, "Dad, you think there's a clone for Kanye? Look at him. Look at his face.
Yeah,
he's showing me different, sides of his."
I know Kanye. That's not him.
That's not Kanye, man. I think he's cloned.
Killed him.
Have you seen the movie Infinity Pool? I think this was called.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. My wife did not like it, but I loved it.
What platform is it?
It's kind of like anal sex.
It was in the movies.
Is that the one with Viggo Mortensen? Is he the lead in that?
Is they clone him? It's all about clones.
I don't.
You would know. Trust me. This movie is all about clones. And Viggo, it's the young guy that
Viggo Mortensen was the guy from Lord of the Rings.
No, he's young. He looks like Viggo, but like a grandson or something. It's
So
really
check
good.
that out.
I highly recommend it.
What's it called again?
Infinity Pool, I believe it is.
Pool.
Let's get into Juneteenth. The whole reason why we're here today, obviously, because it is that important of a day. I want to get your insight into it as a Black man.
All right, I'm glad you asked. So clearly, it's not that important because they still picked up my garbage. They weren't a day behind, and it's supposed to be a federal holiday.
Yeah,
they picked your garbage up on Juneteenth
on the right day. Yeah,
my garbage wasn't picked up.
I was gonna say mine.
It's probably because they're racist.
I want to send Austin this. I just sent an article in our little group chat. And it's about the African Americans and emancipation, right? And what took place after it, right? Because Juneteenth has absolutely nothing to do with the actual law that liberated Black people. With it, once it becomes law, once it becomes a part of the Bill of Rights, and you are protected that way through the Constitution,
ratified, it has to be ratified,
right? Once that took place, the shift and change within just African Americans or Blacks or, whatever you want to call it, it happened immediately. So if you can, I don't know if you can read just a good portion of this article here. I can't see it, so I'm gonna read it. And I just want folks to kind of hear like what the freed slaves were doing and what the actions that they took once they realized they were free. And then when we look at the actual story of Juneteenth and just the unfortunate ignorance of the Blacks that were still working on those plantations, we should not be celebrating that day at all.
Okay.
The conditions of African Americans changed dramatically after the outbreak of the Civil War. The Confederates used the labor of enslaved Black people to operate railroads, to construct earthworks, and fortifications. And in the closing days of the conflict, to fight in their army, many enslaved people defected to Union forces in eastern North Carolina. A sizable number joined the African Brigade, first organized in New Bern, to bear arms for the Federal Army. Perhaps as many as 5,000 Black North Carolinians fought for the Union. With the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863, nearly 4 million enslaved people were freed by the end of the war. Right then and there, 4 million people were freed in 1863. Juneteenth was 1866, 3 years later, right? But again, the narrative and the whole premise of Juneteenth is it makes it seems as though African Americans didn't know they were free or weren't free. The federal government didn't do anything to ensure that they were free. They didn't have any rights. They didn't have anything to do with, being free, right? And so within the article,
because it wasn't countrywide at that point, anyways. The Emancipation Proclamation was only for the Confederate States.
No, it was that it clearly states within the Emancipation Proclamation, nearly 4 million enslaved people were freed by the end of the war. More than 360,000 of them in North Carolina, despite their lack of schooling, these African Americans demonstrated a clear vision of what they wanted and a strong determination to get it. So where within Juneteenth does it highlight that? Does it highlight the will and the eagerness and the understanding of what being free was within this whole argument of Juneteenth? They don't talk about any conscious awareness of the blacks that were freed. And this is just in North Carolina. They're talking about what happened in North Carolina. And I only bring up North Carolina because within years later, when they started to get political positions and they started to become, senators and congressmen, and there was a first African-American or black congressman that was a former slave that was elected into office, that changed after the Wilmington massacre that happened in Wilmington, Wilmington, North Carolina. So Juneteenth itself, I think it takes away from all of the work that these people knew needed to be done. They started to build schools. They started to get into political office, started to become lawyers, started to become doctors. They started to become a functional
entrepreneurs.
Yes. They started to become functional citizens within the United States of America. But yet 3 years later, just because a small portion within the state of Texas didn't know, and they were told by blacks within that state, like, yo, you're free. What are you doing? Why are you still working? Why are you still working on this plantation? They ignored them up until a white general comes in and say, hey, whoa, what are you guys doing? You guys are free. Like, let's go. Come on. Oh, we are, Mr. White Massa? Oh, we free? And all of a sudden we have this, was it Jubilee? It was Jubilee Day before it turns into Juneteenth.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. So, because I always look at it like it's very close to 4th of July. And I'm obviously a big fan of 4th of July. I'm a big fan. Mm-hmm. And that's all of America. Like I think all of America should celebrate that. But I can also see why, the black population would say, well, that wasn't our freedom.
I think that sets the seeds for Marxism. It sets the seeds for disconnecting black folks from this country, having a sense of pride, having a sense of, patriotism, where a lot of the intellectual black men that understood that this country was the only country that gave them the opportunities to own land, to become, a United States patriot. That's why they enlisted within the army. If you're going into the army, that means you have a sense of pride of the country itself. If you don't want to join the army, that means you do not appreciate the country and you will not, show any form of patriotism. They don't want black folks to have any sense of pride within this country. They don't want you to be patriots. They want you to be this tool. Yes, this tool that they can use and manipulate to kind of keep that instability within this country, where you can just tap into that racial argument and remind the folks of the trauma. And that's what Juneteenth has turned itself into.
No, I think that's always what it's been.
Yeah.
Because what was Juneteenth but something that a white man did?
Well, there was this so I'm at the I was at this Juneteenth. I was at this Juneteenth event on Monday. And
where?
Rochester Science Museum. And they had a lot of of kids.
Lovely butterfly exhibit.
Oh, it was pretty cool. But the problem with some of the propaganda, right? There was these signs that they had, all over the place. And one of the signs said Juneteenth free-ish, right? Like you're not really free. You were free-ish until Juneteenth. And I thought I took it and I just kind of threw it away because it's bullshit. It's bullshit because it literally discredits, people like Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass knew he was free. And if there was an issue within Texas that, there were blacks that were still enslaved, he would have spoke up about it. There's nothing that showed Frederick Douglass even going there on Juneteenth and kind of making it this national holiday. And I think he was a whole lot smarter than a lot of these black intellectuals who are speaking today about Juneteenth. I cannot stomach some of these black intellectuals who get up here and talk and peddle the same trauma bullshit that they want people to kind of like look at them as if they're these preachers or saviors of infinite knowledge when they know absolutely nothing. You know, I just don't like the Juneteenth celebration. We did have Emancipation Day celebration.
I was gonna say, why is it not Emancipation Day? Like that's the day that I would think I'd want to celebrate.
Just a different way to monetize.
It makes black people a patriot. It makes them a part of the legitimate political argument. There was nothing politically, you know, there's nothing that had any ties to all of the men and women that died within the Civil War. Nothing. And that was probably the only time in history where, you know, blacks and whites, the first time blacks and whites died for the greater good of liberating people within just the argument of what, you know, the Civil War was about. But Juneteenth kind of wipes that away. Like, what was the efforts? What was the whole point of Civil War now?
Because that's, to me, it's like, my issues with it is, and again, I have no say because I'm not black. But then again,
shut up.
You're an American.
I just want to make sure
you're
put
an
it out
American,
there.
right?
So, as an American, we don't celebrate. As an American, we don't celebrate September 3rd, 1783 as the last day of the American Revolution, right? We celebrate 4th of July. We celebrate 1776. We celebrate the day that we claimed it as what we're going to do, and we went out and did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have the problem with, is like, you're celebrating the end of it, which kind of puts it into a victim mindset of, well, we did, thank goodness he did it here, but it obviously wasn't that good because we were still slaves in this state over here. And so we cannot celebrate until that very last day. That's my one issue. The second issue would be, it seems as if it's like close to 4th of July. So it's like, hey, screw you guys. We're not going to celebrate 4th of July. We're going to do it a week earlier. And to me, it's like, dang, like, come celebrate with us. This is freaking dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you celebrate Juneteenth as a white person?
I don't think you can.
Are you allowed?
You shoun't, because
I don't really care.
You are.
Wait, hold on.
You are
Let
literally
me see something.
The reason why. And I talked about this.
But does that make sense?
No, I talked about this last year, right? I think I just sent you some more photos, Austin.
March 22nd, 1873 was the last day of slavery in Puerto Rico. Why aren't we included?
Well, I don't know. How were you emancipated?
It was Spain's parliament.
And then did you get liberated again? Because we
by United States.
That's why you guys aren't special, because we had to be liberated twice.
Say it again.
We had to be liberated twice.
Say it to my face,
boy.
and I always keep going back to the Marxist, communist angle.
I know you do.
And just kind of how these images are by design. Like these are all part of just ways of increasing the little conflict theory that every dictator loves to kind of create, these social dynamics.
Right. There's got to be there has to always be some kind of conflict in everything. There can never be anything good.
No, they've been doing this forever. Like back in 1964, back in the 1960s in Africa, Russia was the propaganda within there. They were putting a whole bunch of propaganda in Africa. I sent Austin the photos if we could put them up. These images, the drawings, the way they're created, and just like the Juneteenth within the podcast, the fist, these are all Marxist
that's not
imagery.
That's not a black fist, FYI.
No, it's brown.
Yeah, it's brown.
Oh, it's pretty good.
That's racist.
Looks pretty spot on. But I like the red, the green, and the black.
It's very Jamaica.
Very Jamaican. Man.
Yeah. But I think they know that the consciousness of the majority of black folks today is very, very low when it comes to anything about slavery that they know or understood that they're taught, because they got it from the public schools. And
it's worse than that. I think we are, as a country, so big on just reading the headlines. Like we went over the Target headline. Just read the headline and get upset about it. And there's many times, I literally brought that up to someone on city council. Someone said something about, oh, you got, it's you and your fans who are, threatened to bomb Target. I'm like, no, it's your people.
Check that out. That's what Russia was sending to. It's always the chains breaking, right? There's always that fist, that struggle.
Why was Russia sending?
I mean,
anything?
Again, what are you going to do if you want to take over a country? You got to give them that propaganda. That's the same thing, right? We're going to liberate you. Look, this is in 1960, Soviet Union, American freedom, 1960. The communists have been in this country for years, and this is the same imagery. It's the same stuff. And go to the one that go to the one that was, I was just looking at it at the
Didn't Russia have slaves?
It's the same thing. Look, that's the same thing. It's the same shit. It's the same play. If you don't see that this is communism, like you are falling, you're falling for the trap. Look, breaking away the chains. Here we go.
Dave Freedom.
Oh, there we go. Bud Light.
That was from Headines this week.
If I could if I can find this video.
They don't stock their beer selection?
No, they're closing. So they sold out of everything else.
That's all they had left in stock.
Like they're closing forever. So
forever?
Yeah. So this is all they have left of their beers.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So what about 13th Amendment? What's that got to do with anything with Juneteenth?
Well, it has everything to do with just, the overall wording of that you are free until you do something wrong. Like because
that's what actually abolished slavery in the United States was 13th Amendment, which was December 6th, 1865.
Right.
Which is again a different day than Juneteenth. So why wouldn't the day the 13th Amendment was?
Listen, the reason people care about
ratified.
Juneteenth is because you get the day off of school as a kid.
Well, why can't it be December 6th?
Well, because we've already got Christmas and that's close. And we're close to the end of school.
All right. The House passed a measure in January of 1865 and sent it to the states to ratify.
Listen, I'm a Gen Z. I don't care about the past. I really don't.
Unless it behooves your arguments.
Right.
Me.
I'm all for it. I think that everything that's connected with Juneteenth is 100% Marxist communist rhetoric that is, there's a bigger play here. I don't know if we can play that video that I sent Austin, but no. This isn't new. This isn't new.
Was it all the celebrations from Juneteenth?
This wasn't a celebration. This was back in the 60s. A black man, he was talking about communism, and he was talking about how he joined the Communist Party, and then how he left the Communist Party and why it's bad for black people. This was in the 60s. Now, the world famous Mr. W.B. Du Bois, well-known black Marxist, right, was well into his agenda during that time. And a lot of black folks we don't connect communism to our social fights and stuff.
Let me ask you, if you can't be proud of Juneteenth, because I don't really think that's, whatever. What, as a black American, can you be proud of in your history?
You be proud of being emancipated. You be proud of the people that saw freedom as something of value and that they worked for. So you highlight the people that had the audacity to be free, like Frederick Douglass, like Booker T. Washington, and then follow
Daniel Prude.
Oh, hell no. And then follow.
He has a park named after him, so I don't know
what the hell that's all about. But that's the thing. Like what these men did, they set the foundation of how a African American, a black, can live within this society and prosper.
Does it feel like when things like Juneteenth get promoted by the federal government that it kind of takes away from the things that actually, pushed Black America forward?
Yeah, and especially when the people who are doing it is the ones who created the supremacy to begin with.
Right? It was Biden who enacted it as a federal holiday.
No, I thought, Trump wanted to do it, right? And then Biden was like, hey, let me give you guys a bone because 81 million voters. And
because he hasn't done
anything
since.
You probably
or
forgot.
before.
Oh, wait. Today's Juneteenth? oh.
That's why he calls it Juneteenth, because he can't remember what day it actually happened.
No, I think, again, it's a more of a, it's another cover by the left. The left is a Marxist organization right now.
Far left.
They're using these conflicts to continue the divide that we have. And I mean, they get their money from China anyway, so this is right up, Karl Marx's alley, and they worship Karl Marx over there in China. They love him. Like, I think he has a statue or two over there.
Well, they worship him on city council as well.
Yeah, I would
Who
hope
specifically?
We won't get into that.
even if we can't play the video that I sent Austin, if there's any way we can post it, you can see a black man literally yell at the top of his lungs in the early,
He's Leonard Patterson.
That's the guy right there, Mr. Leonard Patterson. Just listen to what he says. Hold on, working on it.
I'm not trying to be ignorant here. This is a legitimate question. Is Patterson is that a slave name? Because I see a lot of black people with last name Patterson.
It's possible. I mean, that right there. I mean, what can you do? A lot of the names that we thought weren't slave names, like Susan and John, that was a common slave name because they just didn't, they didn't really have records. So it was just a regular name that slaves kind of kept using to call each other, John or Sue or John. That was a very prevalent name. And then, of course, the last name is just a plantation name. What plantation you belong to? Patterson Plantation. Like, that's who you are.
None of that matters because Biden's just going to call you boy anyway.
Boy, yeah. But listen to what he says. This is 1966, bro. This is real serious. It's crazy shit.
Hmm? Dang.
That sums it up right there, right? Kind of 2000 and
Uncle Tom 2, that first one was dope.
Yeah.
I like the Uncle Tom movie.
Yeah. shout out to Larry Adler, man. He's a freaking animal with this. But yeah, I mean, everything he said, what is it any difference from 1960? I mean, started in 1940.
What
bro.
the?
1940 till now, 20. Like, just think of how deep we're in this shit now. And what's it going to take to kind of pull black folks away from the bullshit?
They have to
I don't want to agitate white people. I don't want to agitate y'all.
Y'all my friends.
Seriously. I don't want to, excuse me. Put it like this. I don't want no smoke with nobody. No race, no nothing. Everybody race got a group of goons that will fuck one person up if they need to. Period. Like,
Kidding me?
no one wants that. No one wants any type of civil war. Like, why? Why would you want that?
Why do you care? Why do people care? That's the great
About
lie,
what?
right?
Yeah.
Like about race, about skin.
Yeah,
color.
why?
Why do
Because they're
people give a
programmed
shit?
to.
But
Yeah,
that's what he said though.
And then when, as a white person, when you say that, you're racist.
But now it's like the pot
I don't
is
give a
even
fuck.
Let me hear you
The
say
pot
you don't
got
see
bigger.
color.
Yeah.
the pot got bigger. The pot went with the gays.
was
Now they
figured
got
out.
the cisgender. Now they got the trans. Now they got the blacks. Now they're trying to pull in the Latinos.
Don't do that.
Latinos.
The Latinx.
Latinx is in.
There's a fight
Latinx.
going on in the city.
Sounds like a
it's
Pokemon.
happening. There's a fight back going on with some Latinos
I hear
who are
that.
just like, no, we ain't having that. We're not having that. So
Well, now you see what it is. That's all it is.
You got to zoom out further. It's because we've stolen people's purpose.
Mm.
And by we, I mean the general government.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Jose.
I thought you meant white people.
You are
right.
government.
That's right.
You are government.
That's right.
Represented.
You're more white than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're worried about.
Is it my
stupid things.
my shirt? I asked for
Right.
the gayest shirt that I owned
Speaking
my
of
wife.
gay,
Get somewhere that's gay.
Thanks.
wine.
It is good.
That's like
I've-
Gatorade.
I've
It
had
has
that.
a little gay aftertaste to it, but
What's a gay aftertaste taste like?
I don't know. I just
No, you said you said
tasted
you
fucking
said,
you
said what it
you said
was.
exactly what it tasted like.
Yeah.
So you obviously knew.
Apparently, it tastes like Stella Rosa.
You knew
That's
what you were
just said.
describing there, buddy.
That's right.
should I have
pal.
said pause?
Nah.
No.
No,
No, that's racist.
Spain is the OG slaves to the colonies.
Mm. Oh yeah, they got away with murder, all this enslaving they did.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Spain,
We
Portugal.
only talk about white slaves.
Everyone had slaves. I'm not trying to hear that. It was in the Bible. You saw who had slaves in the Bible.
Allegedly.
No, I'm not clicking that button.
I
What-
mean, you know,
What did you guys take on the reparations argument though?
So gay.
It is. It really is the only answer. I don't see. I said it on WXXI. Someone called in talking junk about people, saying what if their job is to go and like clean up toilets or to pick up, garbage off our, from being a garbage man and stuff like that. Isn't that like demeaning? And
How
it was
so?
because I was on WXXI talking about the potential for work requirements to get government aid, right? Obviously, I was for work requirements.
Mhm.
And that caller brought that up. And I said, it's demeaning to take free money and not work for it. That's more demeaning than actually going. You know who I respect the most?
Yeah, but
I-
that's not the common sentiment.
Yeah.
You say
No.
that because you have some sense, but the common sentiment is that working with your hands is demeaning.
Yeah. Oh,
That's why
yeah.
we have the average age of like electricians is 55 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Like that's going to be gone. What's going to happen? What is going to happen when every 55-year-old that's today, the next 5-10 years says, I'm good.
I'm about
Yeah.
to make bang.
Right. People like Dan, the
I'm
white
ready.
man, are going to make the money.
Well,
And y'all sitting at home who could have went to freaking Edison Tech for free.
Let me put this receptacle in for $500.
For real.
well, they poo-pooed upon that. Again,
They
following
said it was
the lead.
racist.
Yes, following the lead of W. Du Bois, Mr. Marxist man himself.
Never heard of him.
They turned down those jobs, and they just felt that they were better than.
No, they
we're,
didn't
we're
just turn down the jobs. The parents spoke up against trade schools. That's why we only have one trade school left in the city,
Mhm.
because the parents spoke up and said, how dare you teach my kid instead of going to college that he should go into a trade? That is a demeaning job.
Yeah.
That's manual labor. My child should go straight to college and should be able to get into $120,000 debt to the U.S. government and never be able to get out of it.
Clear Marxism. I'm gonna keep saying that a lot until people like within the Black community really start to figure out what that is.
They won't. You know what else is Marxism? Pedophilia.
Oh,
That's where it started. You can look at the history of it. I'm not clicking on allegedly here. Pedophilia has been one of the things that the Marxists have been proponents for in the past. You can sit there and say that not today, but who's speaking up against it? In Arkansas, they banned it. They banned was it gender affirming care for children, and a freaking judge came in and said, no, that's not constitutional.
Yeah.
The children should be able to decide that the body part that they were born with that is perfectly fine,
they can just chop
doesn't deserve to be on their body.
Yeah. So
you can't tell me that the freaking UN coming in and stating that children should be able to have sex with grown ass adults, being that becoming legal is so far fetched.
But it's only attack on men, though. It's really only the
all of it is an attack on men.
Yeah.
Every single point of it is an attack on men, because you're either effeminizing them, or you're destroying them for having masculine tendencies. But yet, when things go south, who is the person you call?
Chop your meat off.
Chop it off. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And
Why
again,
not? Go ahead.
It's what Mao did to the Chinese. It's what Mao did to his people. They were.
But why are they telling the girls that it's okay to be masculine? Like what? I really don't understand the connect between that. Like why is it okay to be feminine as a boy, but masculine as a girl, but not the opposite, not traditional? Is it just the rejection of traditionality?
I think so.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Like this was an idea that somebody had before, so therefore it's wrong.
And we can say it's an attack on religion too, right, Austin?
Yeah, Austin.
Yeah. Austin.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Dare you?
Attack on Christianity, that's for sure. FBI was in town. There was one of the directors, and they were talking about hate crimes in our city. And I was sitting there, and I wanted to ask a question, but they would only allow a certain number of questions. So afterwards, I went up to him, and I asked him. I said, "Are you also going to?" Because he was adamant, hate crimes are not okay. If it's against Black people, if it's against Asians, it's not okay. And I asked him straight up, I'm like, what about the hate crimes against? I was like, hold on. You do believe that someone acting out in anger and disgust against a religion like the Jewish is not okay, right? He's like, yes. I was like, that is a hate crime, right? He said, yes. Okay, what about against Christianity? He said, that would be a hate crime as well. I'm like, so when are you going to actually do something about that? Like, because we have people here in Rochester who are out there. Who are out there, come on, Dan, jeez, fix it. Who are out there protesting in front of, legally protesting, very much in line with what the law states they should do. Thank you, Dan, the fixer-upper. But they're getting rocks thrown at them. They're getting bottles thrown at them. So why can't Christians also be defended by our FBI?
I'm gonna need this. I'm sorry. Yeah, why can't Christians be defended by our FBI, Austin?
Because that's the only fake religion. The rest of them are
Yes. Yes. Bring him out. That's what I'm talking about.
That one doesn't work. It has a yellow exclamation point on it. But
that's racist.
That was racist. How dare it be yellow? This button right here.
I think the federal government is really showing its hand right now.
To those who are open-eyed, though.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who have wool over their eyes still, or more so.
Well, I think most people don't have the time to care. Let's be real.
That's fair. But I do think that there's a lot of folks that will not, be open within social media with their, I don't know, their epiphanies of, this is bullshit. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Right. Because I think because
you see what happens as soon as they speak up.
Yeah.
They're attacked.
But you know how many conversations I've had with so many people that was like kind of more on that left side, and all of a sudden they started to kind of shift, especially when it came to the the gay conversation, right? And it's not about you being gay, it's about how it's being forced down everybody's throat, no pun intended. Whoa. But it's literally been pushed in everybody's face nonstop. And it's really men that's doing it though. It's men that are leading these arguments of what, like, why do you want to be if you want to be a woman so bad, but then you want everybody to accept something that is just so absurd. Like, bro, you are not a woman. You're not a female, period.
It goes even further. You want to be a woman so bad, but you don't want to be labeled as a woman because you want to be a they, them.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you be a she, her and consider yourself a woman, but then you can't define what a woman is?
Yeah.
I just, again,
but
here we
I
go.
can't go that far. I will never go that far.
That's about them. Be a freaking woman if you want it. You want to chop your meat off, go ahead. You want to put implants in your body, go ahead. But I think women are far more than implants and freaking and makeup and fake hair and fake titties.
They found a way to tap into the females for support. Like that, you know, that mechanism that women have, that empathy that a lot of women have. The white female liberal and the black female liberal has a sense of empathy that is just crazy when it comes to men. Like they are so okay with a man wanting to be a woman, and they're just like, there's no pushback. I'm only talking about the ones. I'm talking about the ones that got the bull rings in their nose and the tattoos on their faces. Those type of women. Right, the black women with the
on their faces,
the black women with the black lesbians with the dreadlocks, like, oh, it's okay. No, they're the ones that's always they are the ones that's protecting their argument. That's not the men doing it.
Listen,
it's them.
If you're gonna come at my community, you need to ask me first.
Listen,
it's Austin's community. If anyone,
yeah, I was gonna say I'm on my 4th Bud Light Seltzer, and I'm starting to think the trans argument is really starting to make sense. You know?
But you said, see, I think Jose's already on the slippery slope, right? You said, like, let people do whatever they want, but also no, like, let's just be objective.
I don't mean let them be, or I don't mean let them do whatever they want, but it is going to have to be where if a friend were to come to me and say, hey, look, I think I'm a woman.
Wait. So a friend that you have a relationship with,
right?
Somebody that you know.
Yes, it comes down to an individual conversation between two people. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I think I'm a woman, I'm gonna tell them,
no, you're not.
But you're not, though. I can look, and also on top of that, does that mean if you already feel like a woman, doesn't that already make you a woman? Why do you have to then chop body parts off to then try to look like a woman? Will that really help you in the end to become the person that you believe you are? Or are you who you are inside? Because you're saying that this outside is just a social construct. Right. So why do you have to change it then? If everything that you are is inside your mind, that's what I truly believe. Everything that who I am is inside my mind. This body right here is just a carrier of my soul. My soul is who I am inherently.
He's 6'5".
He's way bigger than 6'5". But bless you.
Gay.
Except
I don't care. you remove the tail of a cat, it's still a cat. If you move the meat of a man, you're still a man. Like
my dog, when he goes to the veterinarian, he has his freaking testicles taken out, but he's still a freaking male.
Still a male dog.
Still a male dog. So when the Seneca Park Zoo came out with their pride flag thing, I'm like, for a fact if an animal came up to you, if it's a male or female, like for a fact. So stop playing this game. It doesn't have to be played everywhere. This game doesn't need to be played everywhere.
What a shame that the gays and the lesbians got roped into
trans and pedophiles.
Right. They were fine all by themselves.
Yeah, I get.
They're like, yo, we're good, man.
I'd be so upset if I was just like a regular LGB. Like,
well,
where'd you guys come from?
The B's are fucking weird. Let's be real about it. If you're a B, figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Just decide.
Yeah, but that's like saying to an independent voter that they need to figure it out.
I mean, yeah, but also decide.
Well, this speaks to the genius of Dave Chappelle, because when he did that joke about the guy who was drunk in the skirt, and he said, "Well, I'm sorry, his nuts are literally hanging from his skirt, so I didn't know." Like, how far within that game are you gonna, force us to play? Like, he's clearly got a freaking ball sack hanging, like.
But like you both know plenty of gay and lesbian people, or even bi people, that are productive members of society. They don't shove it down your throat.
I am so okay with bisexual women. But I mean, all day. Go do what you want to do, right? And even if I get invited to the show, let me be a fly on the wall.
And every man, for the most part, is okay with a liberal woman because that means that they can have sex with whoever they want and they can kill the baby whenever they want.
I mean,
yeah, until you're settling down. But whatever.
That Plan B pill is like the greatest invention made, right?
Definitely beats the stairs.
Whoa.
It's the Satanist in him talking.
Less homeward there.
That's Bud Lights.
That Bud
kicking
Light
in.
bringing out that Satanist.
Oh my.
Oh man.
No, you have been chugging those though. You were perfectly fine with them.
Seltzers. They're not even alcoholic, basically.
That's not what I'm discussing.
Wait,
you have gone from like flavor to flavor to flavor.
Yeah, all 4 flavors.
Without
taste the rainbow.
You're a B.
You can't prove that.
After that one, no. All right. We haven't even gotten to any of the things here. I feel really bad about that because I saw there was a lot of chats there.
Well, the Bloods and Crips have been here for a while, but on top of another 70 other gangs that's been in Rochester.
Pick a street and they have their own
gang. Everybody has a gang.
Everybody does have a gang. This is our gang right here. Yeah. Dan, thanks for joining us on the 2nd year anniversary of the Politically Correcting podcast.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Jose, what is the city of Rochester doing about the gang problems and the Kia Boy problem? Do they have any solutions or outside of suing Kia and Hyundai?
Yeah, that's the solution. You know what? If I were mayor, I'll give you my solution.
Let's go.
How do your shoes fit?
Oh, good question.
They fit right.
Perfectly?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're the right size.
I'm still in the child size, so I get a discount on my footwear.
Okay. You gotta take a page out of Mayor Evans' book. Get them big
no, because I don't want to pay more.
Get those sideshow Bob shoes.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get into the feet of the mayor.
You're gonna lie about that?
If I were mayor, I'd have a bunch of staged Kias and Hyundais out there. You can say whatever you want with how we handle a kid breaking into a vehicle that we staged, but they're gonna walk away not happy.
Well, there's police departments around the country that leave the windows down in cars and leave cell phones in the center consoles for that reason, just to catch people.
Well, it's not hard to kind of find them because when they do steal a car, they're driving recklessly.
Well, the problem is that's another part of it. We don't allow them to chase them, and they know it. They can as soon as they start driving 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour down the street, the police back up and let them go.
Well, I mean, that's not the dumbest idea.
I think they want it to happen then.
But they're crashing into people anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your solution then?
My solution is to be smarter about it. Like, I'm not all big on the
shoot their tires out.
No, not shoot their tires out. But there is technology out there where it's attached to a police vehicle where it props down and you get close enough, you just it wraps around the tire and you're able to pull them. Now you have to get close enough for that.
I feel like you say that, but it's not as easy as
it's not at all. But at the same time, we are instituting in the Northwest Project Greenlight, which did work in Detroit to combat a lot of the issues, which was the businesses were working hand in hand with the police officers by putting cameras outside of their businesses, and it was facing down public streets. So when a gun goes off or a vehicle gets stolen or someone gets robbed, the police have direct access to that camera that is on the right of way, and they can see where the vehicle is going and go catch them.
Oh yeah, surveillance state. That's what we want.
Well, surveillance is
big on surveillance. He's traffic light sensors.
Well, surveillance means that you're watching it all the time.
Yeah, you're a big surveillance guy anyway.
That's
US
reactive.
Intelligence guy.
Well, what we need.
It's happening anyways, mind you.
Yeah, right.
We gotta get those VHS tapes of the crime.
You gotta watch Black Mirror. They just came out with their new episodes.
Yeah, I see.
And the one I watched last night was you've agreed to everything on your cell phone, like without looking.
Yeah, without looking.
And so
I read them all.
No, you don't.
Well, what we need is to give the police higher caliber guns so the bullets don't bounce off the windshield.
Ooh.
You know, that way, they can shoot the driver, just
That's
right in
it.
the face.
100 cal.
Are you saying they don't have high caliber guns?
Not high enough.
not high enough.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Get
I
them-
think
get
From
them
greater
45.
distances too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there
Exactly. That
I
way, as
think-
they
we go. Why not
try
just
to
put it
do
on a
this
drone?
spam,
Why not just put it on a drone and let the drone shoot them?
Let's do it. Let's get it going.
If we have the ability to hack any vehicle today, which we do,
Not mine.
you're right, yeah, the old school ones all day.
Yeah, I might just trade mine in for old school one.
we already have the intelligence to kind of take over a car and just drive it any way we want to. Like that's a no fact. Within Kia and Hyundai, if there's a way to hack into steal a car, there should be a way to create a kill switch to shut down that car no matter what. Once it's stolen, once your vehicle is stolen, then boom, like just as simple as going on an app or something, or even calling.
OnStar has that.
Yeah, just kill switch it. That's
OnStar
it.
has that. People won't pay for it.
At this point, there's no reason. There shouldn't be a fee or charge for it. Like the insurance, but it's only going to have to come from the insurance company. Once the insurance company starts saying, "Yo, we're not covering any vehicle like this," or if the insurance company
That's
says,
exactly what's happening.
That's already what's
That's
happening.
what
Yeah,
they're
well-
dropping people.
yeah, and now on top of that, they can go even further where, all right, we're going to increase the price of your premium
Also,
That's
because of
already
this.
happened.
So
has your insurance not gone up?
no. So,
My homeowners and my car insurance has gone up significantly.
well, that sucks.
I registered my vehicles out of state.
Oh, good. That's smart.
Yeah, like
best thing to
Jay-Z.
There you go.
Yep, I am.
But there needs to be a kill switch implemented in these cars, and just going at, like,
Not Austin style kill switch.
they say confused people do nothing.
Heck
That was Malik's idea. Well, I'm gonna do what they're doing in Seattle. Yeah, it's gonna sue. It's gonna do it. Let's go. Let's sue. It makes me look like I'm doing something. It's a solution.
I want to know if that's money. Is that money going to the Kia owners?
No.
Right. So what are we suing for?
Hey, for the city.
They're gonna sue because of the overtime that we had to pay for RPD. That's all it is.
First of all, they dissolved. And we talked about it on the show when we were talking about my car that got
everything.
stolen. Because I am a statistic when it comes to car theft.
Sure.
City of Rochester. And when they found my car like 4 months later.
Did they?
Yes, they did. They found it,
Did
and
it reek of weed and
it's still, I think it's still in the impound because it was part of a crime. So it's part of a little investigation that they have right now.
What?
did you ever get paid a single dollar for any reason?
The car was new, so the insurance covered the overall cost of the car. So I was like,
Was there a gap?
no, there was no gap.
Oh,
There was
that's
no
good.
gap. It literally, I didn't even get $100.
Wait, so you
Off the
left it?
value.
You left it there?
I had no choice. Like after 30 days, it became the insurance car. So they needed me to sign away. So they signed a waiver to release the car. But when I went, I couldn't because the city had to hold it because it was part of a criminal investigation. So,
Man,
at that
I
time,
want to know.
at that time, they said the department that used to be more than what it was, and this is all part of the defund the police shit. There was only like 1 or 2 people in that, in that department
We have 4 road patrol,
that's designed to look for stolen vehicles now, right?
stolen vehicles, and speeders.
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
4, and
Excuse
drunk
me,
drivers.
Obviously, it's working. Obviously, because the Kia boys are having a grand old time, and they know this. Criminals are smart, man. They know what the fuck is up.
Not really, because you can I know how to hotwire a Kia. I'm not stealing Kias, but also.
But that's the thing. That's what makes you a strong man, is the fact that you know how, or that you could, but you
I
choose
looked it
not
up.
to.
It's very
All you gotta do is,
accessible.
Right, but you
can
chose
find it.
not
You
to.
can do it. Anybody can find out.
Why would
how
I
to do it.
want?
But that's the
to? It's a
difference maker
Kia.
right there, is that you chose not to. That's the big difference between any of this. All of this is that the fact that you had the opportunity. You have every opportunity in the world to go out there and not how to do it. You can go out there and steal a vehicle, but you don't. Why? Because you have too much to freaking live for, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You got a family, you got kids, you got a job. Way too much to live for. These kids out here, they
don't.
think they have nothing to live for.
Well, to be fair, what do they have to live for? The media tells them they have nothing to live for.
Schools tell them that.
The
Yep,
Democrats
you're gonna be
tell them they have
nothing.
nothing to live for.
You're gonna be a statistic. I worked. In
The man
city.
is sitting above you, keeping you
I've
away
seen
from
it.
being
It's
prosperous.
baffling.
The white man is the
Yep.
part of the system.
Somebody's against you that you don't know and you can't touch.
Right.
Good luck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't reach me.
That's right. You're too tall.
Well, I'm not sure what the America is bigger part was for, Brenda Lee. Did that go with something before?
Did you hear that the Bloods are now confirmed to be in? Oh, yeah, we knew that.
Yeah,
We knew that,
there's a
bro.
lot
That's
of
like that was like way back in like 20 years ago. The Bloods and Crips have always been here.
Oh, thank you, Brenda Lee. City school district, the budget that I voted no for. And I explained that in the city school budget, they are transforming their, instead of having a school nurse now, they're going to have telehealth.
Oh, yeah.
So I asked, what does that mean for parents' ability to know what their kids are talking to a doctor about? And I was like, because one of the major concerns is when my wife takes the 14-year-old to the doctor asks the mother to leave the room.
What?
And, yeah.
No.
It's in New York State the law now, 12 and older. They ask the parents to leave the room.
I'll kick down the door.
The kid has to give you the permission to stay.
Mm.
Even though it's your insurance, the child has to give you permission to stay in your own insurance. So I asked him, I said, does that mean that a 12-year-old can now talk with any doctor in the school without the parents knowing? And they said, well, the parent has to sign a waiver. I'm like, okay, so that means at the beginning of the school year, the parent signs a waiver saying that if the child needs medical help or whatever, that they can see a medical doctor. But throughout the school year, you're not getting a parental signature every time they need to see somebody, right? They're like, no. Okay. So that means a child can see their doctor. That doctor can prescribe them anything or have them injected with anything without their parents knowing, huh? And they said, technically, yes.
Yeah.
So yes.
The jabbing, the shots, that's the most alarming part because you never know what the hell they're putting.
Not the changing of your gender or blockages of their.
Well, they're already putting it in our water anyway. So.
Well, let's be real. So if a kid comes to the doctor and says, well, I don't know, I've been kind of confused lately. And they say, well, maybe you're a girl.
22 minutes. 22 minutes. Someone took from saying to the doctor that they felt like they don't feel the same sex in their skin. Mm. Within 22 minutes, that doctor was able to tell them, number one, you have to say that you feel as if you are a boy or you feel as if you're a girl so that the insurance will actually cover it. If you don't say that, insurance won't cover it. So the fake kid said, okay, I feel like a boy. Okay, here you go. Here's a prescription to go see the doctor about blocking your hormones. Mm. Within 22 minutes. Not a second follow-up, not a, hey, talk to this person that's going to deal with the mental health issue or to make sure that everything's okay at home or to make sure you weren't sexually abused or make sure that, your younger or older brother isn't freaking messing with you to make you think you're a little girl.
And that's the setup to further create the divide between the parent and the kid, because if the parent objects, that's when the laws where they're trying to implement where
New York State just did it.
Yes. If you don't, then your child can, I don't know how the law is going to be enforced, but something like if you don't agree or go along with your child's
taken away.
That is the most
America is. But New York State is one of those states where, let's say you are your child's mother decides that she's okay with your son getting the meat chopped off. If you don't agree with that, your child gets taken away from you. You will have to go to court for parental rights and have somebody watch the kid with you.
Yeah. I'm thankful.
Yeah, we're burning it down.
I'm thankful that
I'm a liberal now.
My kid's mom is West Indian and they don't like that shit at all. So,
no, they don't at all.
So that's the only thing that I'm grateful for.
But that's where most of our money is going towards human rights violations. They're pushing it all around the world. You see all the people from Africa who are speaking up saying we don't agree with the same values. Yeah. We are not in alignment with the American values.
In Ghana, they are not playing.
No, why are you gay?
Say, yeah, why are you gay? That was the best one right there.
That was great.
But they like, yo, don't tell us what we like. They said 98% of their people voted against this bullshit.
Right.
So
and yet we want to push it down their throats.
yeah, like nah, keep that shit over there in the West.
You know what happened to the 2%.
Oh, I know, right? You're right. There was 2%.
Let's re-roll it.
Yes, yes. You ain't getting away with that over there, man. And
Unless you're the
again,
Clintons.
it's just sad seeing that here in the United States they're using the black face to push and perpetuate it, because all of the people who speak in those government panels and these, these hearings and stuff, 60 to 7% of them are black women,
Because you can't say
pushing
anything
these
against,
arguments.
You can't say anything against anyone black in this day and age.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tell me that they're black and legitimate qua?
It's fucking
You can't say
everything, bro.
nothing.
Yeah. Good luck. Because they'll pull that race card quick. They
Yeah,
pull it all the
Good
time.
luck with all your kids being in public school in New York.
I only got how many more years left? My son will be in 6th grade next year, so 7 more years.
Someone's got 18 years.
My kids aren't going to public school. Kidding me?
I was back when COVID, I was
I even
definitely
taught in
down
the
with
school
self-taught.
district.
You know, there's a law.
Oh, yeah, you know all that.
Yeah.
Oh, poor.
There's a law that they
Probably
passed
going crazy.
in New York State a number of years back that you can't teach a kid that's not yours for longer than an hour unless you are an actual teacher in a public school.
It's crazy.
So anyone who wants to create like a community-based school, you can't do it because you're not allowed to teach another kid for longer than an hour.
That's right. You might be unqualified.
What's the point of like really sending your kid to a public school anyway? Like the goal.
Let me tell you, Lavelle. So I'm tired. And I would love to send my kid away for 8 hours a day. Holy
the daycare, right? The daycare part.
That would be awesome. And you know what? I'm battling, going back and forth. My daughter's almost 4. And I'm ready to send her. Oh, but shit, I can't.
You can't, man. It's tough.
I can't. But I want to, but I can't.
Yeah, but that again shows great masculinity to be able to say that as much as you feel like you want to do a certain thing, the amount of pressure pushing against you to fall in line, and you're able to oppress those feelings.
Like, well, I was at
Tell me I'm oppressed.
You are oppressive, man.
Yes.
It's built into your skin color.
I went to a Mothers for Liberty
The mama bears out there.
Oh, and for Wayne County, and they
Hell
had
yeah.
They don't mess around.
they had
They
their
do not mess around.
function at a Christian school,
Mhm.
and it didn't really hit me until I really paid attention. Like, oh shit, they got Jesus on the wall here in this school, and I'm like, there's still schools that have Jesus' name and
Yes. North Star Christian Academy. Shout out.
yeah,
to them.
I was shocked, and like.
They still
So
say the
out
Pledge of
in
Allegiance.
out in the county area, the rural areas, like where you are, like you at least have
You get outside
Hope.
the metropolitan areas,
Yeah.
it's red as can be.
yeah, it is.
Like people are insulated in their little bubble in the city. And
Mhm.
that's something that I think, especially the black community, right?
Mm.
You talk about on aggregate, they're confined within the city limits, based on whatever, right?
Except for sodas. That's all Puerto Ricans.
School of the arts.
No, sodas. Sodas Bay.
Oh, sodas.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Puerto
yeah,
Ricans.
but Mexicans.
And Mexicans. Fine, Latinos.
Very Spanish speaking.
And not Latinx.
no.
No, they like hunting. They like their boats.
Oh,
They like
yeah.
their drinking.
Yeah,
But
they
that-
look
then
like
their
me,
guns.
just slightly darker.
But it's to what you're saying though. It goes to show how much of a problem they are for the power controllers, the people up at the top, the free folk.
Well, and that's
They're always
because-
going to be the target.
And that's because the people out there, they really don't care about all of this nonsense.
Well, it's
And
hard
that's
to
what it
care when
is.
your neighbor's a mile away.
Right. Well, it's hard to care when, I'm making $13 and I'm barely getting by. My kids are, I'm trying to, just get by.
Yeah.
And it's the same. And that's kind of what baffles me, because it's the same problems that people in poverty in the city face.
Yeah.
Poverty knows no race.
Nope.
As far as that goes. The white people that are poor in the suburbs or in the rural areas are living similarly to the people
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
that are in the city or worse.
Yeah, those
Um,
manufactured home communities.
Oh shit, I've lived in them.
I wouldn't mind living in one right now, to be honest. Getting out of the city and just freaking living in a commune with a bunch of like-minded folk.
You can't call it.
Can't call it commune?
Necessarily a commune, but can I ask a question? What do you think the percentage? This is kind of off, but what do you think the percentage of people that know their neighbor in the city is?
Oh, very few, very few.
20%, 25%.
No, I go lower. I go
Less?
10%.
There's no,
Really?
I go 10%.
there is no interacting, and I can just speak to my own, like my mom, like her street. Like she lives in Irondequoit, but then I lived in the city.
Know her neighbor.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know. But within just that dead end, like from my mom's house, like 4, 5, 6, 7 houses next to her, they all know each other, and like they'll have like a backyard.
That's rare
event.
Right?
Yeah, it's very rare. But in the city, if it's not a block party, which there's no more block parties.
No.
They don't have block parties.
Why
like
do you
they
think
used
that
to.
is?
Because the people who are putting themselves out there as the community leaders, right? Their ideology is completely different from the traditional values that the Black communities had throughout going back to the late 1800s, early 1900s, we had that. We had a sense of community. We had a sense of family. It started with going to the churches. The churches were having community events. The churches were having, city events where everybody came together. We don't do that anymore.
Do you think it's bigger than that, though, that everything is replaceable, right? Everything is, this doesn't matter. Everything is, kind of a narcissistic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter who my neighbors are because fuck them, basically.
No, and it also can go into what we see right here. I mean, the community comes together on Facebook, right? But it always starts with one sole individual getting notoriety and credit for doing one thing, right? Or having this one event to where it's like a fashion show or a hair show. There's no more like,
I love hair.
Community organization bring together to raise money for something or to raise awareness of something, to come together. Those are done.
But that's the other thing is, it seems like everything has an angle, and a lot of people don't want to go to those either. It's like, I gotta, if I show up to this thing, oh man, that sounds good. I want some, let's say pulled pork, whatever it may be. But I also then have to go through a gauntlet of people trying to, get me into some social programs that does not pertain to me. I gotta talk to people I really don't want to talk to. And it's like, why can't I just come together as a community and say, hey, bring a dish to pass? But then again, some people you don't know how they're living, so why would you want them to bring a dish to pass as well?
Well, Jose, I got a question.
Because you got to believe the best in people.
Yeah.
No, that's the answer to that question.
Do you?
You say, yeah, I think so. And I think actually that's where Austin nails it. Even though he's wrong on some things, he believes the best. That's why he doesn't believe that minor attractive people is a thing. Because you believe the best in people.
Yeah. How naive. I get it.
And I'd say that's where you've been led astray because you
jaded.
Yeah. And I don't think that's wrong, but I think that's the majority of people have been jaded by the way the world is, or their access to information is so vast. They see these things. They say, well, that could be happening next door.
Or the For You page is so one single minded that you're in a vacuum that you only see this.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like Austin.
Yeah. With his Satanist.
Yeah. My For You page is nothing but Satan.
his TikTok For You page.
Yeah, absolutely. Me. I love TikTok. It's my favorite.
That's right.
Jose,
all day, every day.
Explain this headline that just came through on my phone. Rochester City Council approves budget for a safe, equitable, and prosperous city.
Hell yeah, I'm looking for that white equity.
What does that mean?
No. They talk about the budget. If they're gonna talk about the budget, that's probably what they're.
This is the headline, though. Rochester City Council approves budget for a safe, equitable, and prosperous city.
Yeah, that's a nice way of the mayor to spin it.
Ah, okay.
It's a nice spin.
I like where he's finding that? In the space in the shoes.
The gap in the back.
The gap in the back.
There's at least 3 inches there, bro. 3 inches.
I wouldn't know.
That's an Asian thing.
What is that about? What's in that bill? That budget?
It's the budget. They're we finally actually put in, there were some last minute things that we were able to push for, which, you know, certain people will take claim for, but it was because some of us decided to finally push back. One of them is for us to put some money into looking at the community centers. Each quadrant has a community center, service center, and some of them just ain't working. Like what they're supposed to be doing is handling the community issues. Like, let's say things that don't amount to 911 calls. So let's say a neighbor who just lets their dog out without a leash. That's an issue, but it's not a police issue, right? Or there's trash all over my street, and it's, you know, the neighbors have to keep throwing it out there, but someone has to pick this up, and it's on city property or it's in the city streets. You know, I'm not going to keep going out there and picking it up when it's not on my yard. Service center. We're putting some money into how to take a look at those to make them more effective, which I believe they need to be more like mini city halls. You should be able to go to your community center, your service center, and be like, I'm looking for a permit or a license to do this, or what grants are available to start a business, or what grants are available to fix my roof. And they should be able to have the answers there instead of having to go downtown, pay for parking, you know, take a day off from work to go and sit for 4 hours to figure out something. So that's fantastic. Another thing is that they are actually putting some money into the RG&E study. They're not putting the money into it. They're saying they're going to allocate it in case the county steps in and says they're going to put in their money too.
Bello said no.
Bello said hell no.
That's the first time I've seen Bello stand up like a man and say,
yeah.
And his argument is spot on.
Yeah.
Every part of it is spot on. And I only say that as a former employee of the establishment.
Damn, you didn't last very long, did you?
No, I just couldn't do it. It just was crazy.
Was it the smart reader?
No, it was just the fact that they were lying.
Oh, okay. That.
Like, they were lying completely, from just lying to the employees, lying to the public. The stuff that they were doing to the elderly was criminal. The system that they created was self-inflicted. You can't create a system that was designed to try and fix and correct bills and billing issues, and yet
created the issues.
Yes, and then the system is not going to fix these problems. It's holding these people bills for months on time.
Yeah.
And then when your system wakes up, says, "Holy shit, let's fix this bill finally."
We're $5,000 behind.
Yes, $6,000, and that elderly person is on auto pay, and that person has been calling into the customer service center for months on end, asking, "Where's my bill? Where's my bill? Where's my bill?" Then all of a sudden they get their bill, and then it says, "Do immediately auto pay." 1 week later, your account gets zapped $7,000, and you're 80 years old, and you have no recourse on getting your account back. That is criminal. And here the CEO stand up there and just politely, say that it's a problem that they're working on, and then says, "Well, when the smart meters are installed, we won't have this problem." That's the setup. And unfortunately, people don't understand how RG&E is allowed to do what they do. Starts at the Public Service Commission. If you want to complain to the city council, complain it to the mayor, complain it to the local leaders here. You're wasting your voice. You're wasting your time.
White Claw. I can't drink.
Me
that
too.
No more.
It is the state. You go to the state.
Well, they're an oligopoly. You can't freaking do anything about them.
You go to the state, and the state knows. And then also and just like what Bella said, they lose millions of dollars in credits from RG&E just for being here. The city, like, we lose money as citizens if we go public. Period.
100 million, he said.
100 million. And then look at this also. The advocates for public utilities. None of you know how hard it is to maintain a power grid. None of you. When we have big outages, when we have huge, windstorms and all that, we have to contract the majority of the workers to come in and get us back up and running. We don't have the manpower.
Nope.
We just don't.
A lot of them are contractors. A lot of
them are contractors. And RG&E is behind in paying a lot of those contracts, which they won't tell you. They're millions and millions of dollars behind within that. look into it.
Ooh.
If you want to argue for, so then you're going to, and I think Bello kind of touched on it a little bit because he talked about the transition, the amount of money it will cost for this city to try and overtake a multi-billion-dollar company's mess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we want that smoke. So don't let your feelings get, ahead of you without really looking at the system itself.
It's not going public. I know
No,
that.
it's not. But it's, it makes for a good, it helps RG&E. It helps RG&E keep everybody distracted so that they can easily put these smart meters in without any issues.
Yeah.
Because, again, the health side effects of these smart meters is a situation.
Allegedly.
That is a thing. These emit radiation. Whether it's small amounts, whether they say it's the same, they'll say it's the same amount of radiation that you have within your cell phone
Or your Wi-Fi.
It still emits radiation. There have been situations where people have been make complaints about nausea, vertigo. Like, these are serious things. And I asked one of the trainers when they were talking about it, I said, I'm just the employee you don't want to be, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I asked him, has there been any, complaints about these? As I said, how do you counter that argument? And you know what they said? They reverted to the government. They said, well, the Public Service Commission had already approved.
The CDC also approved.
Yes,
and the
exactly.
FDA
It
approved.
was that same political argument. So be careful what y'all get all hyped up for it. Like Jose said, it ain't going public. Just don't waste your time.
I've done preliminary numbers on how much it would take to buy RG&E, as well as invest in the infrastructure, as well as convert, because they were saying they want everything converted to not fossil fuels and renewable energy. And the numbers were staggering. We don't have the money.
We don't have that money.
The county doesn't have the money. It would have to come from the state.
Yeah. The state's not gonna do that.
You're right. Is the state going to go up against a freaking power company? Doubtful.
No.
It's too far along. I can see the answers that they had were that there's other cities that have done it, but those other cities may have done it 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Not where it is right now. So there's a big difference there. But when I did vote yes on it last night, I told him, I said, I've asked for RG&E leadership to take away the fee for the smart meters. They refuse to listen. They refuse to even acknowledge it as an issue for my constituents who, are on the same pay every month. And so I can't wait to vote yes on this. Just kind of like, which one's that one? Orange? What?
No, it's the mango.
Peach mango.
Peach mango.
Well, that was the first one.
And
right?
this is super gay because you know what the peach means? It's booty.
Yeah, give me that booty. We got that booty over here.
I can only imagine what those taste like.
But dude, and that's the sad part about government, Jose, that you're the only, it seems like the only one that thinks about things in an analytical sense, and then a common sense approach. Iberdrola is a global company that has like almost trillions of dollars within their, like, they're just not here in the United States. So they owned the power grid here in Rochester and also Binghamton. And in Binghamton, they're already paying, I mean, I don't know how much they're paying there, that call center to take calls and etc. But they're unionized.
Oh, they're gonna be gone.
I don't know. They'll probably,
that's way too much cost. Why is this not in China already?
They've been holding down that union,
or India,
for a while. They've been, and that union's been very, very strong in keeping staying intact. Here in Rochester, I tried to organize a union through RG&E way back when I first worked.
You trying to be the next Gotti?
Oh yeah, I tried to, but I got let go during the
yeah, I was gonna say they fired you.
Yeah, they fired me after the housing crisis, and they said because of economic reasons they had to let me go.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, but
you told them you were black, right?
Yeah, that didn't work back then. It was pre-Obama.
Oh, back then.
Yeah,
Gotcha, okay.
yeah. Obama wasn't really in yet.
Yeah. because what's the name hadn't been killed by Zimmerman yet.
Yeah, but I learned a lot from that, from working at that company. And I give the people who, like the actual workers, the folks who are good in the city of Rochester for like serving the customers either on the phone or the line crews, the meter guys.
They showed up to city council, and I told them before I voted, I said, you know, I see that there's a bunch of RG&E employees here. I'm like, I don't want you guys to take this personally at all. This has nothing to do with you guys. I'm like, because you know, there's a lot of people out there who are waiting for this vote to go through, and you can see their faces. Like they showed up every month to speak and say, look, RG&E is a great employer. We're trying to fix these things. We're trying to do our best, but it's going to take time. I understand. And then you got the, you know, people who are the group of people was like probably 3 times as many people there against RG&E. And so I'm, you know, I see the employees' faces. I'm like, don't think this is personal. Don't take this personal.
They don't know anything. The people that are against RG&E,
they know what they're doing. They've been trained appropriately, just like that guy that you showed the video of. They've been trained.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing.
But I do think that the upper management, the politics of the whole thing, the people who are going against or, you know, yelling for the public utility is RG&E. I think so, because their main goal is to push for these smart meters. And to have everybody distracted and not talk about the effects of it. It's the same COVID play for me.
Not just
with
the effects of it. There were people whose electricity has been turned off, not because they didn't pay their bill, but because that city had high usage and they can't have that higher usage. So they got to cut everybody's electricity down to this much usage.
It's more control.
So you can't plug in your electric car tonight. Sorry. You can't, after California just outlawed any more electric cars, like after 2025. And they just the other day said, hey, please don't plug in your electric cars. We don't have the grid power for it tonight.
What? That's crazy.
That's today.
It's almost like people have said that before.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, right. And also it allows not just RG&E, because I'm pretty sure that data is going to be available for people to get. I mean, you'll know exactly where the majority of your power is getting pulled from, what you're using, what appliances you're using. You can't lie anymore about there's something wrong with the meter, right? Even though you never really were able to get out of that, but you will be able to have data and seeing exactly what is coming out of your house. It's evasive of invading your privacy. You literally are giving.
It's literally against our
everything away.
What, 14th Amendment? Which one is it? Or 4th Amendment? Which one is it where you're supposed to be safe in your property?
Yeah. I had this one. I was on the phone with this one customer one time. I mean, they had each month they were using like around 9,000 kilowatts of electricity. I swear they had no idea where. And
they had a grow house.
I was gonna say
they probably did. Who knows? But they lived out in Pittsford, so they had like I asked them how big their house was. It was like 3,000 plus square feet. You know, big immaculate house. And then they had like a pool and all these other things.
You just remind me.
Within just the smart meters, I'm pretty sure they're going to have a way to document every single appliance that, your stove was on for 20 minutes yesterday.
Oh, you still have a gas stove. We're going to need to replace that.
Yeah, we're going to have to get rid of it.
At your own cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a guy that showed up to speak to council to complain about the RG&E at his house. And it shows, like, whenever someone signs up for speak to council, it shows them their address. And I saw the address and I'm like, I know the houses on that street are not tiny. So I pulled up the map of it. I showed the street view of the house and I showed it to the lefty that was, to the right of me. And I was like, this guy's complaining about his RG&E bill at this house right here. And it was like 5,000 square feet. And she was like, yeah, those are the people who are signing up for, taking RG&E public. Are those liberals with the big, beautiful houses that are old as crap that probably doesn't have any freaking. That's the thing. We can convert everything to a public utility, but when my house is, built in 1922, it's 100 years old. It's got some really bad freaking insulation. The entire installation needs to be taken out and replaced, right? So who cares who's going to provide me with electric and heat? It's not going to keep the heat inside. It's going to keep escaping out the freaking walls.
Well, my question to a lot of folks that complain about the cost of their electric bill, and again, I only say this through experience because I looked at hundreds and thousands of bills throughout my time working at RGD collectively, right? So I have a really good idea of how the shit works. The overall cost of your bill has not increased significantly on the RG&E side. It's always going to come down to the supply side and what the market dictates for your gas and your electric. And within a certain period of time, you're going to have an increase, whether it be 30%, 40%, et cetera, gas, electric. What's going on outside of RG&E, right? Within what's going on at the gas tank, you already know what's going to happen on this side, especially with gas. Natural gas is not connected to petrol, but at the same time, it gives the market an excuse to increase your rate. RG&E has absolutely nothing to do with the supply cost of what comes in your house. They only get paid off of how much you use and then just your basic service charge. So them bringing you the electricity or gas, that's where they get paid. Now, the more you use, the less RG&E gets, because again, if you're using so much within the supply, their merchant function charge or their merchant charge, it discounts because again, you're using so much.
Yep.
And that kind of eliminates them from being the one that's dictating why your bill is. It's all up to you. So what they really want you to do is use hardly no electricity at all. And I'm talking about the manipulators out there, the conservationists, right? They're going to purposely jack up these rates so that you're not using, and they're going to blame it on the environment. They're going to do all this shit. But the cost of your supply for both gas and electric, they have nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. And I laugh at when I hear these arguments all the time. People go, my bill was X amount of dollars this year. Last year was this. That has nothing to do with RG&E. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it's just education, y'all. Just educate yourselves. Really look at
what's the answer.
The answer is to monitor your usage.
That's right. You don't want to use anything, just like you're saying. You're one of them.
You are one of them. You're a liberal.
No. Monitor your usage to where you see exactly what you're using month to month.
Well, it's be educated, right? Know what your bill is. Know
how are you going to know that?
Know what a supply? Because you can read. Because you went to.
There's people that don't even know who they're voting for next week.
And
they're just going to click on that button. Do you think they have time to go look at their electrical usage bill?
A good majority of the people that I know, I talked to this one guy. He literally has his meter reads from like 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Like he literally has this shit on a spreadsheet, and you can ask RG&E for this information. You can ask.
Oh, I might know the guy.
They will email you your previous usage, your meter reads, all of those. You will know how much you use per day just by breaking it down, your usage on a monthly basis.
Who's gonna email me my meter reads?
Well, if you can
tell me the name of the person.
If you can they all have that ability. But if you can get through and speak to an actual person, they will send that information to you. You have to be very,
pernicious,
aware, and really look at your usage on a month-to-month basis, and see. All right, I average for electric and gas. What in the summertime you probably average about maybe 5 to 6 therms. You know what I'm saying?
If you have AC,
if you have AC, it's electrical, then that's where you're going to use more. You're going to probably be over 1,200 to 1,500 kilowatts easy a month if you have AC running on a continuous basis.
I bought AC literally after my first summer. I swear to God, we bought a house closer to the beach. I thought that was going to be cooler, which it is, always cooler. After the first summer, it was the hottest summer we've ever had. This was 6 years ago. Yeah. Hottest summer we've ever had. I bought the freaking AC then the very next year. And now we have like no summer at all.
Central
Central.
Units?
Yeah.
Think of it this way, right? So just like and I tell folks this all the time on the phone, when you're driving around and you see, the cost per gallon is a certain amount, right? The cost per therm on your bill or cost per kilowatt. During the summertime, if you have AC, you already know that cost per kilowatt is going to go up. It may go up to 10 cents, 15 cents. On average for the year, it's probably around 7 cents a kilowatt. You got to be mindful of that.
You tell me why the supply charge fluctuates when the pipes are already run The wire's already strung. Why is that changing?
It's the market, supply and demand.
That's bullshit.
It is, but it's not RG&E.
When it goes down, it has to be replaced.
The supply charge is simply the
actual
transfer of.
Yeah, it's the actual source.
supply.
It's it's the source. It's the electricity and it's the gas, and that cost per kilowatt per therm. The cost per therm on average, and it's been, and when I went back, that number has been kind of consistent. It's around, like, on average year, we've been averaging around 70 to 80 cents per therm on the gas side.
RG&E doing the Lord's work,
Yeah, no, they're really not. Trust me, they are criminals in their own way, just not in the way that these arguments are coming.
You're sounding like a Marxist.
Yeah,
you just said it right there.
What?
That they're criminals for making $1?
No.
Okay.
Not criminals within the sense of the public. Criminals within what they do to their employees, right? And then also how they protect the grid and the lack thereof.
They're criminals for allegedly sending me a bill and then not sending me a bill and then telling me that I'm overdue on said bill, even though I already paid the one for the month.
Or
and
like
then I
said
told them
before,
that because I read my meter, I should get paid by them.
Right.
That's working for you.
I wouldn't want them to read my meter. I wouldn't want my meter to be outside. I'd rather have full control over what I tell you.
I'm gonna just hack the line.
That's another reason why they want the meters. That's why they want a lot of the meters outside, because then that way you can't report to them a number that is not accurate.
Well, they got the meter thing that they just walk by it.
Then they'll say there's something wrong with your meter. It's not registering anything.
Yeah, it's probably because it's a white meter.
I am a huge advocate of, if your gas meter's on the inside,
you can't enter my house.
Listen,
right,
and you tell them whatever you want.
They keep sending me the thing saying, "Hey, we need
whatever you want.
We need to install the smart meter." I'm like, "You're not doing it."
Is yours on the inside?
Mine's on the inside.
Oh, hell yeah!
My electric is on the outside.
And they're gonna get that read every other month. Yep. Now there was a moment, and this is again,
I texted in every month. I'm like, why are you gonna charge me $13 a month because I don't want your stupid meter thing? You should be charging the people that do want it. Leave me alone, because I text it in. Literally, I go outside, read it, basement one, read it, send it, gone.
And that charge is gonna go up each month. Not each month, each year.
Yep.
Each year that charge is gonna keep.
Yeah,
increasing.
Of course, because it never decreases.
No, I'm talking about to reject the smart meter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's like chicken wings. They raised the price, and then when prices fell back down, they just kept it the same.
Yeah, it sucks though.
That's where we are. They're literally pricing us out of existence on every level.
I'm wondering. See, now you got me thinking. I'm wondering if I take my nice sharp axe that I just sharpened and hack that electrical line.
Can you sharpen my axe?
Yeah, I'll sharpen your axe.
Hack the electrical line.
That Bud Light Seltzer hitting.
I wonder how long I survive. I mean, I think we're good.
I went off grid 2 weeks ago. I did an Airbnb, just went off grid.
It's not really off grid because you're on Airbnb.
Yeah, but it wasn't like electric or nothing. There was nothing.
How elite did that sound? I was just a waiter.
I was in Naples. I mean, it wasn't that far, but
sucking a dick, but I'm not gay.
$20 is $20. All right. On that note, let's get Austin home. I appreciate Dan from the streets.
What time is it?
Game time.
We've been going for 2.5 hours.
Oh my gosh. Good conversation as always.
See how rushed I was to get here?
Oh man, you wore socks with the sandals?
Shooby.
The fuck are you? Are they different socks?
Oh yeah. They're not even matching. I got 3 kids.
That's becoming quickly like one of my top 5 pet peeves is seeing 2 different socks on.
Wow.
Fuck. Well, it's because your workload on city council is so low that you have the time to do it.
No, it's because I'm so disciplined that I know that when I'm putting my clothing away to match the appropriate clothing up.
If you've got time to match your socks, you've got time.
All of my socks are matched.
Minority rights.
All of them.
Okay.
Minority rights.
We got to get you in, Dan. You got to get in that sun, man.
Yeah, you're glistening.
You got to get in that sun, bro.
Am I awfully white?
Yeah, you're way too white.
Wait, pull up the sleeve a little bit more. Is there a tan line? Oh, damn. Never mind. It gets worse. It gets worse. Let's see Austin's. Go ahead, Austin.
Ooh. Oh boy, you're kind of red.
Nah, that's not that bad.
Yeah, well, you know, I spend most of my days on rooftops. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I
Right.
do.
That's right. They're flat rooftops.
A
So.
flat
Yeah,
roof.
they
Flat
are.
roofs.
Yeah.
Pussy.
I'm
Zero.
a mechanic. God damn it! I went to a trade school.
Austin is defensive.
Wait,
Whoa, whoa. Okay.
I'm handy as fuck.
Yeah. Wait till tomorrow when the guys learn that you're drinking Bud Light seltzers on your flat roof.
They don't know about the show.
I appreciate everybody coming on. First of all, Kevin asked, "Are you guys optimistic about UBI?" I'm not going to get into that.
$6 grand a year.
That's going to
Here we
start a whole
go.
nother freaking 45 minutes. Again, like I said on WXXI, I think it's demeaning to take free money when you haven't earned it by putting in any effort whatsoever or created any value for anybody else, because that money comes from the taxpayer.
$500.
Well, they say there's studies have shown that this actually
They're
helps.
happier.
This
They're
works.
happier. I said, of course they're freaking happier. I would give me $500 extra a month. I'd be happier too.
Welfare wasn't a big enough case study. Like, we don't have enough information from welfare. It's been what, since 1930?
63.
60? That's when welfare was implemented?
Yeah.
I thought it was in the 30s. That's
Right around.
the Great New Deal.
My-
after all that shit.
My
That's what I
grandma
thought.
used to tell me about how her dad was against welfare because he saw like what it would do to people.
Mm.
And what did it do? It did exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was ahead of his time. But then,
My-
Much like our podcast.
yeah, exactly.
My great grandparents, my grandfather, they had a house of 12 in that household. 12 kids and 3 adults. And they weren't on welfare. And my great grandfather said, I would freaking kill myself before we go on welfare. And they didn't.
Good.
They didn't.
It's fantastic.
And then he did actually like kill himself, but it's a story for another day.
Was it because he was about to go on welfare?
No,
Oh.
he lost his mind. It was when mental health really sucked. They probably said, let's remove your spleen because then you'll be better. Didn't work.
Yeah, you gotta get leeches, get the bad blood out.
Yeah.
Go for the
Yeah.
lobotomy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
what I think. That's what he
shoved it up
was
the nose,
placed.
twist it around.
Now they
pull it out.
did
Don't you
do
just gotta wear
shock. They did
electrodes on your feet.
they did shock therapy on my grandmother.
What
Which
is
again,
that? I still don't know what that actually is.
bro, they just shock your brain.
Yeah, they did that to my uncle.
What?
He killed himself.
Mental
Last
health
year,
back
2
then
years
was
ago.
serious.
Jeez. We used to have the building is still there. On where is that? South Ave or something? The building for mental health. And they took everybody out and then they just didn't do anything with the building because
Oh, I thought it was on Elmwood.
might be on one.
Yeah, it's like it's huge.
I don't
But
go
there
over
is a mental health facility right next to it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, mental health conversation.
That whole area is
need to have
weird.
that.
They got the Alice Eagle Center over there as well.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what's going on over there.
We really got to talk about that.
That's not. Maybe we should get a historian in here.
We need somebody who is very aware of mental health issues.
You know what we should do? We should be asking our people out there. If we want to have somebody on, which again, I think I've gotten to the point where I'm very much okay with not having like guests on because
We are pretty good.
yeah, we're pretty dope.
Dan isn't a guest, but Dan
Dan is not a guest.
like
He's
should come
family.
back more often.
I'm so big. I have kids, man.
You do,
And they all can't wipe
How's
their
the
own
boy?
ass,
How's the
so-
son? How's the
Oh,
little
he's-
man?
He's a month now, so
Yeah.
he's a
He's just
a
starting
tiny
out.
human.
When do you
It was
stop?
a month?
When do you
Dang, I
stop
thought he
numbering the
was-
months?
Is
it 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah, when people say, yeah, he's 27 months. Whoa. Too much addition.
Stop right there.
2 years, right? He's 2 years old.
Is that the city school district?
Um,
He was West
I'm
Runaway.
West
Don't play.
Runaway, man.
Don't play.
that West
IHS.
Runaway?
Yes.
They're
man.
kind of.
we were just talking about
Stop.
that, the difference between RCSD and West Irondequoit
Well, one
Central
has
School
less
District.
funding, and it's not the one you think.
Right.
That's,
we had less
That's
funding
true.
with 100. We were top 100 school in like the country at one point.
Mm.
We're dope.
We are.
The TB
Paul Golisano
wards
is
used to
a
be
Western
across from
Irondequoit
Monroe Community Hospital, where
alum.
Costco is now. What are TB wards? Robert, you got to let me know what TB wards. TB tuberculosis. Uh-huh.
But our history with mental health in this city, this county, it is deplorable.
What
And-
if they finally come out and say that they've been experimenting us in Rochester?
I would
We're
believe
not
it.
that we're not that important.
Yes, we are. We're
I would
actually
believe
like
it.
You say
AT&T. AT&T did a study
Yeah.
on us because we're like the most diverse middle city in like the country. What's that noise?
Thank you. I don't know. My headphones.
Tuberculosis.
What
Yeah,
noise?
she said tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, okay.
Mhm.
Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Mr.
Kevin
Lockhart.
Lockhart. Shout
I
out.
saw it.
Tell the baby.
What's that?
Is it gonna be mama or daddy? First words.
Dad is
Oh, I
always
don't
the
know.
first name.
But it's a boy.
Dad is always the first name, no matter what. Dad
Oh,
is always
my
first
other
name.
one's barely talking. She's only 19 months.
She will be talking very soon.
Oh, my
Please
sister's
believe it.
pregnant now
Oh, word?
with her old ass.
Congratulations. man.
Austin is too.
I don't say congratulations to me. I'm a terrible uncle. I do not hang out with kids. I'm not good with kids.
You brought him on the show.
Why?
Yeah, he's older now. He can like wipe his own ass.
I thought it was funny the other week. We at the Memorial Day, we had a big Memorial Day family party, and Daniel brought his newborn, and our grandpa was there, and so we had a picture of like 101 year age gap between Daniel.
You got the picture?
Yeah.
Put it up.
Daniel,
Well,
I don't have it handy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe next week. Maybe
But yeah.
when Daniel comes.
Did I get my black card pass?
You got it, bro.
That
Right there. That slap up right there.
That was
It's
tight.
because he's from the streets.
You won't even need a tan now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Good.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
he's
wondering
from
if city council can subsidize my childcare so I can come
Ooh.
more often.
get a little more tan.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
That's right.
It's the
Actually,
start.
all you have to do is check a box. You don't really have to.
Yeah, right. I don't have
Why
to
don't you
prove
just
anything.
claim that you
Yeah.
are
Yo,
black?
Samara did a test. Turns out we're 1% Congo.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wee.
Well,
it was on our dad's side.
Your dad was wild in his younger days, so maybe just
no, it
something-
was on dad's side.
It
So
could
that
have
means
been
it's
a
on your
dad.
side,
It had to be
too.
like the third grandfather.
Yeah. So, but it's us. We're
Grandpa was
1%.
wild, too.
Yeah.
1%
Goodness
Congo.
1% Congo.
First of all, you're not supposed to be taking those tests. Now the government has your freaking.
that was my
DNA.
sister. I couldn't help it.
Oh, your sister's the worst.
I know. I tell you. Well, she's my half sister. I can't help it.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Gotcha.
Not the good half.
That's a good app. You know, they're doing stuff with AI now. They're literally they're calculating all of your DNA into AI now.
Oh,
Yeah,
And they're creating
have you-
programs for it.
Have you seen like the AI art and stuff?
Yes.
It's
I'm
fucking
so-
nuts.
Let's
Are we starting a whole nother podcast right now?
hold on.
Here we go. Pop
I'm
culture
so
parts, that's here we
mad
go.
that I'm 10 years older than I am right now because I would chat GPT every
Oh my
Yeah.
god! I would have done so good
yeah,
at
I've been a
school.
straight up. I've been a straight up A student.
I tried.
But the problem is now, like, I can't be mad at my son for not doing well in school because now I see as like he doesn't
That's
need to
right.
know anything.
just cheat, dude.
What do
Yeah.
you need to know at this point? You
They're
know,
so
AI is going to take
turned
over
off.
everything.
Every
They're so turned
Tuesday
off from
for the
school.
past couple months, I've been tutoring my niece in geometry because she was failing geometry.
Stupid.
But that
You might need to tutor my son. He's
I-
terrible at geometry.
Oh, I absolutely.
Yeah.
Geometry is so easy. I can tutor anybody. I was a math major for my first year of high school.
Fantastic to know.
College, but anyway.
Soft freaking pride right there. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. But that kid has no retention. Like just the
I don't think
ability.
any kids do.
No,
I
I know.
swear. Unless it's
Absolutely.
music.
And I think the last 2 years have been even worse for it.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that they haven't been in like real school,
Right.
Did you say
Yeah.
worse for it, referring to the kid?
like in terms of their ability to
Mental
Worse
retain-
for
ability.
it.
Yeah.
They
Like,
them.
they've been worse for wear.
It
Uh,
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the I think they just have no ability to retain information.
Because everything is scrolling. Look at these two on their phones right now. They're
Absolutely.
probably scrolling right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
I'm just responding to folks, since the podcast ended, but not really ended.
Yeah.
But I was also pulling up the first African American settler, right, in Rochester, Asia Dunbar, right? That's his name. He's got a landmark named after him.
Asia Dunbar.
Asia, ASA
Okay.
Dunbar. Just-
ASA.
ASA.
Okay.
I met his descendants the other. He's a 6'8" black dude, right? And this was going back to what Austin said that you guys have 1% Congo.
1%.
His great great whatever, how many great grandkids are 100% white as hell. And the one genetic trait that they still have within him is they have his height. So that 1% Congo that you guys have,
yeah, it's stick size.
You might you might be Zulu warriors, man. Who knows?
It is sexual selection. That's the entire thing behind it. It wasn't freaking. You okay back there?
Jesus Christ!
It's them Bud Lights you've been drinking, man.
He just wants to bend over for the Bud Lights.
Man, he is definitely.
Hey, now you can't prove that, okay? Oh my God! I can't believe you said that on air.
Chase wants to come back on the episode. On the show.
Really? Let him come on back.
I haven't seen him in a while, actually.
Pause and say, "Come on back."
Hey, now.
Oh man, Chase is wild. The only man that I ever hear say that he could be a mom just as good as a mom could be.
He said that?
Yes, he did. When we were talking about the pregnancy thing. When we were talking about
there's no one that could be a better mom than a woman.
No, that was the argument. That was the argument that day. I said, hell no. Like, you can't rub your little scrungy old scrubbly face on a kid and give the baby that same level of affection. You just can't do it. You can't.
What? Not quite sure where this went.
What the fuck are you doing with your face? What?
When you're a baby, when you're holding a baby and you're nurturing them, right? A mom's skin and just their ability to connect on that emotional level. We can't compete with that.
So can I tell you, my second kid, right? There was some complications right when she was born. And we had to go to the NICU right out the gate. Like they put her in the thing, and like as we were entering the door, she, turned the corner, and all the nurses and doctors were like, she's all right. But I got like the first hour and a half with my second daughter. She prefers me so much more than my wife. And maybe that's coincidence, right? But I don't think so, because they say that's the golden hour, right? If you ask any nurses, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
My second daughter loves me. Well, I don't know if she loves me, but she at least prefers me a lot more on the nurturing side of things, way more than my wife.
Well,
is she gonna be a tomboy?
She's a Scot through and through.
Yeah, right.
I've seen
but that's they say that, but also like
I don't know
because I got to hold her skin to skin first. I got to do all those first that my first daughter didn't get to do, and I've thought about that constantly since then. It just happened to be that's the way it went. But there's something to it.
I can definitely relate to the
Cheeto.
the comfort side of raising daughters, right, and being with them, in the infant state. But I still think that there is that initial connection from the very beginning, right? When their first heartbeat is inside the mamas, and their heartbeats will, they align and all that. Within those within those 9 months, we're kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. Like we're kind of behind them in that aspect. But when they're out, yes, that can change. But still, I think the women they still have that one up on us.
If you had to take 10 women and 10 men, 9 out of 10 times,
they'll whoop our ass.
Yeah,
all the time. So when we were talking about it with Chase, he just thought it was a slam dunk. Like, oh yeah, I can do this all day. Yeah, wow. Nah, bro. You just can't put yourself out there like that.
That sounds
especially if you didn't. Especially if this baby is coming from somebody else, right? It's not
from within their body.
They can't. He will never deliver a baby.
Butt baby.
That's what we're talking about. The butt baby thing. He's like, yeah, I would totally do it. You can't do it, bro.
Have you been to Chipotle?
I feel like I should take a picture the next time. That's about the size of a baby.
You weren't here for that show.
No, I was not.
You got to
know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that was one of our gay shows.
Chase?
We had some super gay shows. And we've been giving the gays love so many times on this show, bro.
Can I ask you a question? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but what's going on with Connor? Dwyer Reynolds?
I don't know. I
Who's
messaged
that?
him
Where's-
actually
where's
not
he
that long
at?
ago.
Oh,
I
that
miss-
dude. Yeah. Whatever happened with him?
I messaged him not that long ago. I'm
Well,
like, hey,
there-
I hope everything's well. Blah blah. He don't.
Fell off.
fine.
Let go.
I hope he's doing well. I hope if for whatever
Shout out to
reason.
Connor
too.
Dwyer Wenos for coming on the show
right.
and standing
I
up for the
thought that was a
PAB.
great
I didn't
show.
agree with anything he said, but I liked the guy.
The PAB is on
nice
its way
too.
to being dissolved, right?
No,
Gotta be
What?
No.
How much more do
No.
we gotta fucking do with that?
they literally were they're pushing for more money. They actually put in a amendment last minute to fund them an extra $1.5 million.
I love it. I love
Ay,
it.
ay, ay.
We just got money to blow.
I said to them, I'm like, do you understand how much $1 million is? I'm like, you literally have no idea how much $1 million is.
Just throwing it out there.
I'm like, you know how many small, like minority owned businesses you can fund for $1 million?
Why just minority owned, Jose? You racist.
Because she's black. And so they, them is black.
who?
So I said, do you not understand how many,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to speak to them. When you speak to certain people, you have to speak to them in a way that they already speak back at you.
What do you mean?
So when you meet them with their own
what
language,
do you mean, you people?
Yeah. So when you speak to them in their own language, they have to grasp it.
They're not looking at you for anything.
You know what they're looking at me for.
Yeah, you're racist.
You are the racist Puerto
That
Rican.
Latinx representation.
Look, see, that's the thing. I learned from Eminem. I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would you say I am?
I
in
don't
the
think-
paper.
I
The
don't
news
know.
every day I am.
I don't think the Mars company ever said that.
No.
We're gonna end it on that
Eminem.
terrible dad joke. Terrible dad joke. Dan, thanks for joining us on our 2-year anniversary. Shout out to the Politically Correcting Podcast crew because we are dope. We are amazing. We have been bringing you awesome content, awesome conversations,
Austin content. Austin.
Exactly.
ostentatious.
That's the most important part.
Yes, and I appreciate everyone for joining us for the past 2 years, and I pray that we continue on and have even better conversations with everybody. So thank you very much. Austin, hit that funky music.
Yo, his whole entire family here now is completely
Oh,
Dunbar.
Dunbar.
Oh, really?